Major funding for the following program is made possible by funds provided by the BYU Cougar Club, supporting excellence in athletics. Additional funding is provided by Given Ford in Provo, Utah, where you'll be given a great Ford deal.
Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to Brigham Young University football. I'm Jay Monsen. In just a few moments, Steve Young will join me, and we'll bring you a play-by-play account of the BYU homecoming game this year. The Cougars against the Cowboys from the University of Wyoming. A team that has given BYU trouble through the years. In fact, they beat the Cougars here about 5 or 6 years ago, that is, in a homecoming game. This year, Wyoming is 3-3 overall. The Cougars are 5-0, ranked number 5 in the nation in most major polls. Last year, BYU won rather easily against the Cowboys in Laramie. This year, Wyoming is 2-1 in league play. They lost last week to San Diego State. A descriptive term this year you could use for the Wyoming team: inconsistent. They've been up and down. They play well one week and win, play poorly the next week and lose. Last week they played poorly. If you follow the pattern, they should play well today. They've shaken up the lineup a bit, made a number of changes along the offensive line. For Brigham Young University, the Cougars, a few minor injuries. Haysbert is suited up, probably will not play today, and in his place, Bellini will start. But other than that, the Cougars in pretty good shape physically. Should be a pretty good football game. There's a big crowd on hand. It's beautiful football weather, so we invite you to stay tuned now for exciting BYU football as the Cougars shoot for a record 17th consecutive victory. We'll be back in just a moment with a kickoff.
Encourage achievement off the field. The athletic experience at BYU is unique. You learn more than to play football, and you come out a better person. Cougar Club plays a big role in the life of a BYU athlete. Thanks, Cougar Club.
Jay Monsen and Steve Young with BYU football, the Cougars and the Cowboys from Wyoming. Talking about the Cougar Club, a quick note, Steve. You know, this game is going live all over the nation to LDS church locations. And down in Birmingham, Alabama, there's a group getting together, about 25. They're having a complete homecoming today, including pre-game pep rally, tailgate lunch, car decorating. They're dressing in blue and white and awarding prizes for the most enthusiastic BYU fans.
Is that great? Oh, my gosh.
So I hope you're having a good time down there in Birmingham today as you watch the game. And we should thank the Cougar Club, and you should be aware the Cougar Club is helping to bring this telecast to you the same as it does the tape delays here in the state of Utah and the live telecast we have here.
That's for sure. You know, I got goose pimples, Jay. This is going to be a big game. Homecoming. There it goes.
BYU kicking off. It's Johnson. He kicks it into the end zone. Had the right kick that time. It's about 5 yards into the end zone. There'll be no return, and we're about ready to go with the football game. Steve, for the third consecutive week, the BYU opponent has shaken up the lineup. They've changed their offensive line quite a bit.
Well, each of the teams, I think Colorado State and Wyoming, have run into some problems, and Wyoming, especially last week, getting shut out offensively. Coach Kincaid says, hey, we got to do something to get this thing going. And sometimes they feel like shaking up the lineup will scare a few people and make them play harder. We'll have to see how it goes.
Their starting quarterback is Scott Runyon. He's a redshirt freshman. They run the wishbone, and they do it very nicely. The first play, it's to the fullback up the middle, 5 yards.
The dreaded wishbone for the Cougars. That's been the biggest problem defensively over the last 3 years. We got beat by Wyoming 3 years ago. There you see the starting line for the Cowboys. They had 3 years ago, they beat us up in Wyoming in a snowstorm, like I mentioned. They've had big games against us. Air Force beat us with the wishbone. So this is a big test for the BYU defense today.
Brad Smith was the tackler on the last play for BYU. It is 2nd and 5 for the Cowboys. Runyon at quarterback. The snap. Fakes it, still has it this time. There's the pitch. The Cougars try to string it out, and they do this time. A gain of a yard. Kyle Morrell led the charge for BYU.
You look for Kyle Morrell, Steve Heyman, the strong safety, Kyle Morrell, the free safety. They've got a big job today because they've got their man is the pitch man. That's their guy. They've got to follow him each way, make the tackle out wide, but also they've got to play defense on the pass defense. And you'll see that here's the defensive lineup for the Cougars, but watch for Steve Heyman, number 42, and Kyle Morrell, number 5, to have a lot of tackles, and they're the ones that have to make it go today.
Third down, about 4 yards to go for the first down. The Wyoming Cowboys and the BYU Cougars. Runyon still with the ball, coming wide himself. He has the first down. He's down at the 32-yard line. A good matchup to watch today is Joe Ramuno, the All-American candidate at right tackle, who got an extra year this year on that retroactive redshirt ruling against Larry Hamilton for BYU, and they switched Ramuno from guard to tackle for this game.
That's crazy, you know, but Ramuno, I wish I could have got the retroactive redshirt year. I could have been in there too, but he's got that extra year, and I'm sure he's taking full advantage of it. He's their leader on offense.
Heyman and Marv Allen were the tacklers for BYU. It's a first down for the Cowboys on the 31-yard line. Guard jumps off. That's Pete Baldacci, the right guard from Wyoming. He had been a backup, and when they moved Ramuno and made some changes, he became a starter for this week.
To the coaches before the game were talking to me, BYU coaches, and they're really worried about Wyoming because offensively I think their philosophy is going to be 3 yards and a cloud of dust for the whole game, to slow things down. Defensively the same idea. They're going to try to drop a lot of guys, make BYU just pick away at them, get frustrated, get impatient, and then they start making mistakes. And I think that's their goal. So a 5-yard penalty on first down is going to be a big factor for Wyoming. They can't put themselves in a hole because they're going to call plays that are going to get 3 yards a crack. Now they've got to change their philosophy.
First and 15 then, back on the 26-yard line. Runyon's a little guy at quarterback, 5'9", 185. He slipped the tackle, but he was slowed up enough to get him. Jim Herman hit him first of all for BYU. And then we had Leon White and I think Brad Smith.
Definitely a broken play. They break the bone. In other words, there's not 3 guys back there, but just 2. And you see the fullback go the wrong way. And that's all Jim Herman needs. And then Leon White cleans up. But they can't avoid mistakes. Now they're really in a hole, 2nd and 16. And they don't have plays in their offensive playbook to go against this. They're usually a 2nd and 6 type of team.
2nd and 17 after a loss of 2. Back near the 24-yard line. Runyon drops back to throw, play action. The pass on the sidelines caught back near the 20, fumbled out of bounds. Leon White and Dave Neff there for Brigham Young making the hit. Steve, Wyoming could be hurting a quarterback. Runyon and Gosnell have been alternating a lot this year. Gosnell separated his shoulder last week. He's out, and they had to bring Marty Iliopoulos over from the defense to play the backup quarterback.
I'd say they really have to move around a lot this year because they've had those injuries, but they've got to get something started and establish some offensive flow, and they really haven't done anything so far. It's 3rd and 15. We'll see how they do.
Runyon rolling to the left, looking to throw, gets the pass off, but it's too tall. It would not have been enough for the first down anyway. Intended for Jay Novacek. So it'll be a punting down. Steve Heyman covering for BYU. Novacek may be the best all-around athlete in the WAC. He was the WAC decathlon champion.
That's right. They say that he can do it all. A tight end, they're going to have to get the ball to him. It's just like the 2 tight ends last week in Colorado State. They're their big offensive weapon. We'll have to look for him to be an important factor in this game.
And Steve, here's the best punter in the nation on average, Rick Donnelly, #1 in the nation on punts. And he kicks one all the way back to the 10-yard line, where it's taken there by Sikahema. Breaking to the outside, up to the 30, 35, and down. He is exciting.
He is unbelievable. I tell you, every time he touches that ball, that was a low line drive kick. You'll see the punt. Hopefully you won't see the punt, but it's a low line driver. It gets the by very quickly, so he has a lot of room to run. Set up that return, he can just kind of pick his spot. You'll see his legs and his knees and his arms moving all different directions as he tries to get an opening. He's very elusive.
Dane Ingram tackled him. Donnelly, by the way, is averaging 47.3 yards a punt. That is best in the nation in the NCAA. BYU with the ball, 1st and 10. Haysbert is suited up today for BYU, but I'm informed that he probably will not play. Bellini is starting in his place. BYU 1st and 10. Bosco will throw on first down, swings it out to Kozlowski, out to the 40, gang tackle at the 45-yard line. And the one thing the Cowboys are proud of this year is their defense.
Well, they've got to, because that's the only thing they really have to be proud of. But they play hard, they play aggressively, they move around a lot. That time Robbie just throws out the flat to Kaz, and they've got to play defense, but Kaz slips a tackle and gets 9 yards. But here's the offensive lineup for the Cougs. Not much has changed. They've got their offensive line back together. Garrick is back well, Mills. Robbie, they say that groin injury, you never know if it's going to flare up. It's just be one of those things that just every game we'll have to find out. But the Cougars are healthy, and being in the 6th game of the year, that's a great situation to be in.
The chain's in to see if it's a first down. It will be. It's a first down for Brigham Young. So the Cougars get 10 on the first play. Next week, Brigham Young will be at Air Force Academy. And Steve, the Air Force, I guess that game's over. Did they beat Notre Dame?
Well, let's see. No, it's not over yet, but
they were ahead.
21-7. Air Force have beaten Notre Dame 3 years in a row. And could be really pumped up if they can get this victory and then go on next week and wait for BYU to come to the Air Force Academy.
Air Force already has 2 league losses. Wyoming is 2-1, 1 league loss. BYU, the only undefeated team in the conference, 2-0 in league, 5-0 overall. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of BYU. Bosco will pass, only a 3-man rush. Throws for the sidelines. Kozlowski slips a tackle. 50 down to the 45, down to the 40. Knocked out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
2 big plays by Cougs, 2 in a row. And what he's doing, they're covering the passes, and he would have had about a 3-yard gain, but he's slipping tackles. You'll see here on the replay, Robbie's going to drop back at plenty of time. And I think Cougs is just an outlet man. He lets it fly outside, and you'll see that a man is right there ready to make the tackle. And that's just bad tackling, and now Cougs is off to the races. But
it's Troy Schroeder who missed him, and Steve McMillan who tackled him.
Both plays, Wyoming has defensed well, but just poor tackling has put him in a tough position.
Brigham Young with a 1st down on the Wyoming 34-yard line. The Cougar homecoming, and we have a big and enthusiastic crowd here today. Bosco to pass again. They come at him right up the middle. He gets it off, completes it, however, to Orr. Orr's at the 25-yard line, and they finally wrestle him down. There's a flag down back at the 42-yard line.
You remember, Jay, last week we were talking about how the Cougars were going to come out in 3 wide receiver offense. In other words, they take the tight end out, and they have 3 wideouts. It puts a lot more speed out there, puts pressure on the defensive linebackers. And that's what they had going here. I think they're going to go to that a lot more to try to spread out the Wyoming defense.
They just called holding, Steve.
Well, that'll bring that one back, but you'll see that they're going to run a lot more 3 receiver type offenses rather than they'll take David Mills out of the game and put Richard Orr in place of another wideout.
Thomas and Porter were in on the stop on that play for the Cowboys. Wyoming is allowing defensively 25 points a game. Brigham Young offensively is scoring 35 a game. There's a holding walk-off against BYU.
Caught by the cheerleader. Cosmo extends to the crowd an added challenge. He is positive that he can run around the field.
Puts it back on the 44-yard line then, where BYU will have 1st and 20. 12 and a half left to go in the 1st quarter of this game, and there's no score. Robbie Bosco at quarterback. Amuli and Smith are the setbacks. Bellini comes over in the slot now on the left side. Bosco rolling out, looking downfield, throws it back to the right. They set up the screen, and is caught by Mills. 40, 35, down to the 30, back inside to the 25, to the 20. It's a foot race, down to the 10. He's going to score, and I don't see a flag.
What a play by David Mills. He outran about 5-6 guys. Didn't look like it was set up all that well, and he just broke back against the grain. And I'm telling you, he showed a lot of speed there.
You know, Steve, Dave Mills is a great tight end. The one thing they have said about him is he didn't have great foot speed.
Oh, my gosh, he ran by about 6 guys that play.
He got a great block from Louis Wong to set it up, to open it up. So Brigham Young scores on a screen pass to Dave Mills. That is Mills' 4th touchdown of the year. And here's Lee Johnson in to try the extra point. He's 14 of 17. Kicking extra points, has 32 points scoring this year.
Cougars have wasted no time getting on the board again. That puts Wyoming in more of a hole.
The extra point is right through there, and Brigham Young has the lead over the Wyoming Cowboys with 12 minutes to go. In the 1st quarter of the football game, it's Brigham Young 7, Wyoming nothing, and we'll be back in just one moment.
Mountains lies Brigham Young University, the nation's largest private university. Sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, BYU is committed to academic excellence and ongoing research, such as Dr. Roland Robbins' discoveries in the BYU Cancer Research Center. BYU's athletic prowess is evident, and its emphasis on social, moral, and spiritual growth mixed with academics makes the BYU experience unique. Through a dedication to excellence, BYU students are taught to lead lives in pursuit of integrity, truth, and service to mankind.
Jay Monsen and Steve Young at Cougar Stadium. Beautiful afternoon. A lot of balloons turned loose after that score. Have to be frustrating, Steve, to play against the Cougars when you know that your offense has not been doing well. The only way you can stay with them is to try and slow them down scoring-wise, and they score just like that.
That's unbelievable, and that's exactly what I'm sure Al Kincaid didn't want to have happen. But they've already in a hole. The Cougars, I know Norm Chow defensively was offensively was very worried about the Cowboy defense because they felt like they were going to drop a lot of guys, play loose, and he really didn't know what to start calling, and he's made some great calls already.
55-second drive, 5 plays, 75 yards. Bosco 3 for 3 for 81 yards, and Johnson kicks off for the second time. About 2 yards in, they'll run it out this time. Up to the 10, to the 15. Knocked off balance and down at the 23-yard line. Pretty good return that time.
Flag down, Jay. Could be holding or something on the return. Could put Wyoming in more of a hole.
Mark Sherman made the tackle for BYU, and it was Kevin Lowe, who's one of the speedsters in the Cowboys, who returned the ball. They're checking with BYU, so as Steve pointed out, could well be an illegal block or a clip. BYU ahead 7-0 here on a scoring pass from Bosco to Dave Mills. See, BYU now has scored then in 112 consecutive games dating back to 1975.
I tell you, that's going to be, I don't know if that'll ever be broken. BYU is just so strong offensively over the years that to shut them out, I tell you, would be a real chore.
The penalty walked off against the Cowboys, puts the ball back on the 9-yard line where it is 1st and 10. Scott Runyon, the quarterback, sends a man in motion, gives the ball off the left side for a gain of maybe 3.
I think what they'll do, Jay, early is try to get that fullback established where he's going to get 2-3 yards a game. Feel that defense start to pound down on the fullback, and then they can start getting outside. And I'm sure that that's what they're hoping will happen.
Kurt Gabea made the tackle for BYU, and the ball carrier was Dave Evans, the senior fullback. Call it 3, make it 2nd and 7 for Wyoming. Runyon gives it up the middle this time. No hole. Might get to the 15-yard line. Evans again, the fullback, and big Brad Smith there to slow him down.
Again, they go to that fullback right up the middle. I think that's what they're trying to do is establish his, get that defensive line. The linebackers thinking inside so they can get back outside. And it's 3rd and 4, and that's about where they want to be offensively. They want to get about 2-3 yards of crack, get a first down, maybe get 5 yards here, and then just keep moving down the field.
3rd and 4 for Wyoming. BYU ahead 7-0. Runyon fakes it up the middle. He still has the football, running the option. There's the pitch, knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Whittingham for BYU.
Big Kerry Whittingham, he's very quick from the inside linebacker spot. Lateral movement, he went all the way from the middle of the field. Laterally just made the play on the pitch man on the sidelines. That's just a lot of athletic ability for Kerry.
Okay, Dave Evans has been doing the job at fullback for the Cowboys, and in to punt again is Rick Donnelly, who is the nation's best. Here's the snap, kicking from the 5. Kicks it very high. Sikahema waiting, will take it at the 30-yard line. Trying to get outside this time. The Cowboys have it fairly well covered, however. And he ran a lot laterally, not too much upfield. BYU will take over as Jeff Westfall made the tackle on Sikahema. Cougars will take over 1st and 10. Leading 7-0. This is about where they started last time.
They had great field position in last week. You remember that? I don't think they started a drive except for when this first team came out of the game on the other side of their 50-yard line. They've had great field position the last few weeks. Defense has put them in great spots.
Okay, BYU 1st and 10 on the Cougars' 39-yard line. We have Bosco as the quarterback. Kamuli and Smith are the running backs. Bellini and Mills, I think, to the sidelines. The pass is to Kozlowski on the left side. Kaz is out to the 48-yard line.
That time they moved Kaz out of the backfield. He came from the halfback spot in motion. I'm sure it threw the Wyoming defense off, seeing number 7 come out of the backfield, and they didn't cover it real well. It was easy 9 yards for the Cougs.
Mark Thomas makes the tackle. They've been throwing wide, Steve.
They really have. I think they're trying to spread out that defense and not let them get started. They drop so many guys back that they're not going to be able to go downfield right away. So that's what they're doing. They're going laterally, then making the wide receivers make the moves outside.
2nd down, a yard. Bosco bobbled the football, but keeps it, throws, completes it. Was he inbounds? No. But a flag goes down. Or a caught the ball on the sidelines. He was out of bounds, but then he was hit about 3 yards out of bounds by Marcus Thomas.
Marcus Thomas made a very poor play there. It was the ball was high, was out of bounds, wasn't even caught, and then he comes and hits the guy outside for a 15-yard penalty. It put BYU in a much better position. You'll see it. The pass is just that quick out, that off-tackle play that BYU loves. It's pretty well thrown by Robbie, but he's out of bounds, and then to come hit him on the green is just pretty poor play by bad decision by him.
15-yard penalty. The Cougar wide receivers today in the game will be Kozlowski, Bellini, or the three that'll play most of the time.
That's right.
As Haysbert is injured. I think it's more protective for Adam today than anything, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. You'll see they'll go to 2 tight ends. Adam could play, but I think they're going to try to leave him out. They're going to go to 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. This play, they have both Mills and Malini in at tight end, so they have 2 tight end offense right now.
That's sort of like Colorado State's H-back.
That's right, exactly.
Bosco back to throws for the sidelines, and Bellini has it. Bellini has another first down for BYU.
There's a flag down, Jay. Could be holding again.
Craig Garrick is appealing to the official on this one.
That's one thing the Cougars haven't had throughout the years, not very many holding calls. They've been very lucky and very fortunate that they're very skilled that they don't get those holding calls. They're so strong and big that they don't need to hold, but looks like they've got a couple early that's really unusual for them.
Well, that's the call. I know that on the one before, too, BYU questioned the call. This time, Garrick, who is a team captain, so he can talk to the official, was also asking about it.
I'm sure he's just trying to figure out what he's seeing. That Craig, I'm not sure he's doing what the referee's seeing.
Well, attack it over the Cowboys, and Bellini will lose the reception because of that one. Along the line, you've got Dave Wright and Louis Wong, the tackles. Craig Garrick and Robert Anaya, the guards, and Trevor Maddich at center for Brigham Young. So BYU has 1st and 20 from their own 40, or check that, from the Wyoming 47-yard line. We have 9:43 left to go in the first quarter, and BYU leads 7-0. Mills and Malini, the 2 tight ends, are in the slot to the left side this time. The setback is Hamuli. Orr is wide to the left. Now Malini shifts over to the right side. Kozlowski is wide to the right for Brigham Young. Bosco back to throw, 3-man rush. Throws for the sidelines. It's caught by Malini. Goes out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
It really does look like they're trying to put pressure on the outsides, Jay. They haven't gone downfield yet today. It looks to me like they're just going to try to spread them out, try to make the receivers gain the yardage. They'll just throw it laterally along the line of scrimmage, and then make Kaz and Malini and those kind of guys make the move to gain the yardage.
Trevor Malini is the big freshman from Reno, Nevada. Highly recruited high school football player, and he's been getting a lot of playing time this year as a freshman.
Sure has. A big, strong guy, and you'll hear his name for quite a few years.
6'5", 220. 3rd down for BYU. Make that 2nd down for BYU and 12. An 8-yard gain. Now Smith is back in as a setback. Malini in motion, goes in the slot. Bosco with the ball will run it. He'll run it out of bounds as he reaches the 32-yard line.
Pretty smart play by Robbie. I think it was a run-pass option. Gets outside, and everyone was just bunched together trying to pick each other apart, and they got all bunched together, and Robbie just didn't wait a second, decided to go for the easy yardage, and really a smart play. You'll see it looks like a run-pass option. He sees that there's some problems, and a really quick decision. That's what's important about being a quarterback, that you do it really fast so you can gain the yardage that's available.
It's Pete Benedetti who forced him out of bounds, and Pete Benedetti is the young man who ran that fumble or pass or whatever you call it against Utah back 98 yards. He'll remember that, I'm sure, his entire athletic career. 3rd down and 5 for BYU. Bosco throws it over the middle and completes it to the 20, to the 15. He breaks a tackle to the 10, down at the 6-yard line, and that's Malini. Trevor Malini. Mike Hill tackled him.
You'll see in our replay, they had a strong safety blitz coming from Robbie's left side. I don't think he sees it. Luckily, he gets the ball off at time. Someone will come right there. That's a strong safety. And Malini's wide open and makes some nice moves downfield, and the Cougars are right where they want to be.
Steve shades of Gordon Hudson. Look at that strength. He ran through a couple of tacklers.
He is a big, big guy.
1st and goal, Brigham Young on the Wyoming 6-yard line. The Cougars lead 7-0, and there's 9:13 left to play in the first quarter. Bosco back looking for a TD pass. Throws for the end zone. Almost intercepted, almost caught. Good play by both players. Benedetti for Wyoming, and Bellini for BYU.
I'll tell you, Benedetti was in position to make the interception that time.
Was it Schroeder, I guess?
Schroeder was in position to make the interception. He had his hands on it. You'll see it. I think Bellini made a great play in knocking it away from him. I think Bellini made a great defensive play because Benedetti or Schroeder had the interception right here. You'll see it. He's got it. And Mark just kind of pulls it away from him.
Second and goal on the 6-yard line. Running play, sweep, left side, that's Kelly Smith. Smith turning the corner, scores! Kelly Smith for BYU, who's the scoring leader on the team, has just scored his 5th touchdown of the year. A 6-yard run. Student body left, I guess, huh, Steve?
Yeah, well, you know, that was one of the first running plays they've run all game so far. And I think that the Cowboys are going to have a big chore ahead of them because the BYU offense presents so many different threats. Bellini, Mills, Cougs, now the sweep. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I don't think that any defense can really stop the BYU Cougars. I think they can just slow them down. And right now they're not doing a very good job of that.
Mark Allen holding on the extra point to try. Lee Johnson attempted. He's 15 of 18 this year. Make it 16 of 19 as it is good. And so, with 8:56 left to play in the first quarter of the football game, it's BYU 14 and Wyoming 0. Steve, the Cougars today are playing for their 17th consecutive victory, the longest win streak in the nation, also their 17th consecutive league victory.
They really do have a lot riding on each game throughout the year as they continue to win, but I don't think they approach it that way. I don't think Coach Edwards really tries to avoid that kind of a problem where they're starting to think about, here's that sweep, Kelly Smith, Craig Garrick out there, Lewis Wong, Robert and High, Mills put some finishing touches on a nice scoring drive for the Cougars. But what I was saying is, the Cougars before the game, they don't think about the winning streaks and that kind of thing. They can't afford to because then they start not thinking about the ball game. I think Coach Edwards really emphasizes the fact that it's one game at a time. You approach each game the same way with the intensity and the thoroughness of a professional, as a professional, and I think he does a very good job of that.
2-minute, 24-second drive, 61 yards, 6 plays. Bosco is now 6 of 7, 124 yards passing. He keeps that up this year, he may make people forget that other quarterback. Who was that last year?
I can't remember. I'll tell you, the Cowboys really need to get something going offensively, or it could be over here again like it was last week against Colorado State.
Here's the kickoff into the end zone, about 9 yards into the end zone. And it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Lee Johnson's on target today.
He loves it too.
Okay, the Cowboys from Wyoming coming out offensively. Their 3rd attempt going against that BYU defense. Of course, the Cougars are very proud of their defense this year. It's #1 in the WAC in the matter of allowing the fewest points, and that's the one that really counts. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Nice play that time defensively as Runyon has dropped for a loss. I thought the fullback had the ball, Steve.
Yeah, Larry Hamilton, his job is the quarterback right here. That's the man he's assigned to. You see him slip that tackle inside the block, and then he's right on the quarterback Runyon. I'll tell you, that's a tough play to go against when you don't block the defensive tackle.
Larry Hamilton, who's a good one. Heavyweight wrestling champ in the WAC a couple of times. Another running play by the Cowboys, not much gain. Now a flag goes down.
They're going to call Kerry Whittingham for unsportsmanlike conduct, but it looked like some of the Wyoming guys were pushing and shoving him, and then he came retaliating. The old theory that you don't ever get caught if you do it first, but the retaliator always gets caught, and that's what happened here against Kerry, I think.
He had made the tackle on the play.
They might call it both ways. We'll see. You'll see the fullback go right up the middle. You see Kerry right there, 53 making the tackle. It was a late hit right there, the block. And then Kerry gets up and lets him have it right there. Says he doesn't like that too much. I'm not sure which way they'll call it. They might call it both ways. We'll see.
Okay, here's the signal by the officials. Personal foul on Brigham Young. Oh, they'll call it just the one way.
Well, that's usually what happens. They see the retaliation. They don't see the first offense, and that's what happened there.
So they'll walk off the penalty against the Cougars from BYU. And the Cowboys will have a first down on their own 38-yard line.
personal foul against the defense. First down.
I mean, that's about the only way they can get any yardage right now. It's on penalties, but that's what got Colorado State going early in the game last week. Their only one good drive of the game was on a couple of penalties. They got a little momentum, and that could be big for the Cowboys this week, too.
1st and 10, Wyoming. BYU ahead 14-0. Runyon still with the football, picks it up the middle, carries it himself, and oh, is he hit? He reached the 41-yard line. Whittingham, White, down on the bottom there. Marv Allen, looks like the whole lineback crew.
Defense is really moving around. Jim Herman from the right tackle spot. You'll see him come across. That's Kevin Smith getting blocked, and you see Jim Herman come from the other side to finish off. And that's hustle from the other side of the field to come across and make that play.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 on the 41-yard line. Have a man in the slot this time. Play may have been stopped before it even got underway. Flags are dropped.
Evans, the ball carrier, tackled by...
Looked like the Cougs might have jumped off sides. They're a little anxious. They're really fired up, moving around well. And
Larry Hamilton moved out quickly. He may have been offside.
Here comes the wave. There it goes, that cheer around the stadium. The fans just kind of get up and go. Look at that, boy. Let me get a shot of that.
You've seen this during the World Series.
I have to thank Mike Hemingway down in the booth to give us that shot. Thanks, Mike.
There you see the wave.
You see the wave. And it's really got these fans pumped up. They love it.
Gets the offense. 2nd down.
Well, we were wrong. They called the foul on Wyoming.
Oh, did they really?
I guess they drew the Cougars offside that time. So BYU, or Wyoming I should say, has the ball. 2nd down and 12. Runyon looking to pass, throws for the sideline. Almost intercepted, deflected, tipped away. Leon Smith had a shot at it.
Leon,
Sprowls too.
You see that replay right here, Leon White. He's trying to make a quick out. Leon White reaches up, has it in his hands, and just lets it go down. He almost had another interception.
He went high in the air to get a hand on that football. And the wave is still going around the stadium. Fans are having a lot of fun here today. BYU leading 14-0. 3rd and 12. Runyon pitches it back. Might be a halfback pass. It is. Throwing it way downfield, and it is. Ha! It'll be a touchdown. How about that?
Oh, boy.
They threw it downfield to Alan Griffin.
What a throw. Who threw that?
Well, the passer was Kevin Lowe, who's the left halfback.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, sign that guy up. Take Runyon out of there and put Lowe in there. What a throw. You'll see he just pitches it out. Runyon becomes a blocker. Kevin Lowe looks like he's going to throw it. Now, Sprowls, number 25, you see him across. He's the guy that's got to cover that. And he gets sucked up, and the guy gets by him. Actually, he's not beat him by much, maybe a step, but look at that pass.
In fact, he does
come down. Holy smokes, look at that come down his...
Alan Griffin. That's Griffin's 2nd touchdown of the year.
That is a throw.
Kicking the extra point is Andy Cottingham. And the Cowboys have a 63-yard scoring touchdown pass.
Jay, you know what makes that even more unbelievable is Kevin Lowe's a right-hander rolling left. That's a very tough throw against your body, and I'm telling you, you better put him in a lower number. Well, behind the center.
The Cowboys come up with a quick score. 7:07 to go in the first quarter. It's Brigham Young 14, Wyoming 7. You know, Steve, the year in the snowstorm over there, when BYU led early in the game, the Cowboys came up with a couple of big plays like that and then broke the game open in the second half.
Actually, BYU went out. They put it to them very quickly. Went up 14-21 to nothing. And then as the snow got worse and worse, you know, the Cougars kind of died out, and Wyoming just came back, and I think they won the game 35, maybe 14 or 21, something like that. They put it away in the fourth quarter. So at least as long as they stay close, they could keep it going, and into the fourth quarter, they can be close enough to make the big plays that they might be able to do that.
5 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes, 3 seconds for Wyoming to score. Good look at the Cougar Stadium. Fine afternoon for football. Some clouds coming in. A storm has been predicted to hit the area, but now the weather people are saying it'll probably arrive later tonight or sometime tomorrow. Wyoming will kick off. Here's the kick. Comes down at the 5-yard line, taken there by Sikahema. Going outside, out to the 15. Good blocking, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Out of bounds at midfield.
Oh, I'm telling you, that kid is unbelievable.
By Sikahema. He is averaging, well, Eric Loftus finally caught up with him. Let's see, Sikahema, how I figure here, he's averaging 23.1 yards per game on kickoff return.
Look at him just break those tackles. There are about 4 guys that got a hand on him, and he just keeps going and keeps going. And it doesn't matter if it's the defense that puts the offense in great field position or Sikahema or whoever it is. Someone's always putting them in a great spot to go down and score. And you can't ask for more than an offense to start a drive at their own 35, 40, 45-yard line.
About where they've started each of their drives. They're on the 45-yard line of the Cougars, and Bosco will pass. Does incomplete that time. He overthrew Malini at the 50-yard line.
I think that's his first incomplete pass, isn't it, Jay?
Second.
Oh, that's right. I'm telling you, the last 2 weeks they've played, Coach Chow's calling very conservative pass plays, very high percentage completion type plays where they put the short yardage plays that they're easily completed and they make the receiver gain the yards rather than the pass gain the yards.
Second down and 10 for Brigham Young on the Cougar 45-yard line. BYU leading 14-7 midway through the first quarter. Running play to Heimuli up the middle. High steps his way to the 50-yard line. Heimuli had a good game against Colorado State, rushing for 87 yards. Tackled by Rob Zelenka, who's the defensive right end. Third and 5 for BYU. The ball right at midfield, right on the 50-yard line.
You know, Jay, when you say that Heimuli had 87 yards, he earned every one of those. Every one of his running plays are right up the middle against that defensive line, and Lake is a very hard runner.
That game, BYU and the Air Force next week, by the way, will be live on ABC, a regional telecast carried locally by Channel 4, 150. There's a pass to Mills. I don't know if Mills made the first down or not.
No, he didn't.
He caught the ball awfully close to the 45-yard line. Doesn't like where they're marking it off.
Here's a replay again, a lateral pass, and putting the receiver in a position to gain the yardage. And this time,
hey, that ball was up to the line there.
That was very poorly marked, but that time they gained a sure tackle.
Mark Thomas was injured on the play and is helped out of the game. And BYU sending in the punting unit. The Cougars leading 14-7. The line of scrimmage, the Wyoming 46-yard line.
You know, to me, Jay, the Cougars to gain a yard, they could do that in their sleep. I don't think the coach, I think, is very conservative here early going in the games, and he always has been. He always will be. But I think the Cougars easily could go for it and feel confident they can make it. But I think he wants Lee Johnson to just put it right in the coffin corner here. You'll see if he can do it.
He kicks it high, kicking it over towards the coffin corner. Bounces. Oh, wow, what a kick. He kicked that out of bounds on the 1-yard line. Let's settle for that. Great kick by Johnson, who's averaging 46.1 yards per punt this year.
And that's a talent that the professional football scouts will love to see, because they need those guys that can drop it right down there inside the 5. And the goal is just to do it inside the 20 and, not inside the 1. That is a tremendous kick.
Trying to find my national statistic on punting. Johnson is 5th in the nation in punting. Donnelly is 1st. So the Cowboys take over 1st and 10 on their own 1-yard line. Runyon with the ball, delayed handoff to a flag down. I think the Cowboys are offside.
I think so. That's going to put them in even a worse position. And the crowd's really behind them right now. The defense is going to get them pumped up. And that's a tough spot. I tell you, if it's not the offense in a great field position, it's the defense having the Cowboy offense back inside their own 5-yard line twice so far. Do you see that right guard? He's a little early. That's twice he's been a little early. And he's a new man. And they've moved out.
Pete Baldacci, he's a sophomore. He's been backing up on the other side of the line. Now he's starting.
That's a new spot. So that's what's going to happen when the coach scrambles up that lineup. The guy gets a new position, doesn't feel comfortable where he is, and he's made 2 big mistakes for the Cowboys already.
and 10 and a half from the half-yard line. Brigham Young leading 14-7, and the Cowboys are really in a hole. We might have a safety. I think we do. The Cougars certainly think they did. Now, I don't know if the official will mark it that way. They say he got out of the end zone, but BYU does not agree.
They're going nowhere fast, though. I think the crowd's really got them pumped up. They can't hear. They're not very sure what they want to accomplish. There's Larry Hamilton make the big play on the fullback. The quarterback's got nowhere to go, and I think he might just dive in and cross the line really quick there. I'll tell you, it's really close.
Second down. A quick kick. They try a quick kick. It rolls up to the 40, to the 50, down to the BYU 40, down to the BYU 30-yard line, and the Cowboys make a good play to get out of the hole. A quick kick. Now, I was looking the other way. We've got flags down, a little bit of extracurricular activity out on the field now. Both teams getting a little fired up. BYU leading 14-7, and we got some pushing and shoving out on the field, and the coaches and officials trying to break it up. Well, they came up with the big one, Steve. Third down and a quick kick.
I think that's a pretty smart play, and he got a great bounce off it. He rolled, 72 yards. That's a great kick. And yeah, I think both teams are pretty fired up right now. The defense had them in a hole. The crowd's behind the home team. The Cowboys feel like maybe they need to do something big. And I think that was a very smart play under the conditions. Don't you, Jay?
Yeah, it certainly was. You know, Steve, it's been a long time since I saw the quick kick.
It really is, yeah. You don't. But under those conditions, getting that good of a kick, I think, was a real good thing for him.
It's going to take a while for the officials to sort things out right now.
Now, does that go into punting?
Yeah.
Is that just a punt? Rule of punt? Okay.
Rule of punt, right. We'll have to decide. Now the officials must decide who the penalties will be on. There's a clip on Brigham Young. Ball's back on the 28-yard line. Is that the only penalty that will be called?
They must have just thought the rest of them just offset each other, because they could have thrown about 40 flags.
The officials are only talking to Coach Lavelle Edwards, explaining to him what took place.
And I tell you, the coach doesn't appreciate any of that pushing and shoving out there. I think he'll tell his guys that the next guy who gets involved in anything like that gets taken out of the game. He doesn't like any of his guys being in the instigators in those pushing and shoving matches. And he'll sit anyone down that starts anything like that.
BYU may go back and question a couple of calls anyway, Steve. That pass to Dave Mills on the replay, it certainly did not look as if the ball was spotted as far as he made. And then the Cougars also thought they had a safety. Well, anyway, BYU takes over 1st and 10 on the Cougars' 15-yard line.
That's not a bad transition for Wyoming to be on their 1-inch line and all of a sudden be able to punt and put BYU inside their own 20.
1st and 10 for the Cougars, leading 14-7. Bosco gives them the draw to Heimuli. Heimuli scrambles back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
I'll tell you, if nothing else, the momentum has switched a little bit, Jay, because the Cowboys felt like they came out on the top of that time. They got the little scrap. They're really fired up, and now the defense is ready to play. That's what I think they really wanted.
Mike Hill making the stop on Heimuli. Brigham Young has 2nd down. Lost a little bit of yardage. 2nd, about 10 and a half. We have 4:32 left to play in the first quarter. The Cougars leading 14-7. Bosco back to pass. Fakes it. Now he takes out of the pocket. Slip, does not go down. Running with the ball, throws it. Is it caught? I don't know if Kozlowski came up with it or not. It looks like it. No, the official says he did not.
I'll tell you, it looked good from here, but we're a mile away from the field. It might have bounced underneath the cause. Maybe we'll get another look at it. But the big play is Robbie Bosco. He gets stopped back there. Looks like he's going to get sacked. He spins out of it. Almost goes down, put his hand down on the ground to keep himself from falling down. And great athletic move by Big Robbie.
Craig Earl put the pressure on him. It threw an incomplete pass. So BYU has 3rd and 10.5 on the 14-yard line.
I'll tell you, old Cause, he's in the middle of everything. I don't care if it's what it is. Cause is always around that football.
Bosco back to throw, needs 10 yards, throws down the sidelines, wide open. Here's Bellini and knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line. The tackle by Pete Benedetti.
That's a big play for the Cougars, Jake, because the Wyoming Cowboys, I think, felt like they had the momentum going their way. Stop that drive, get a punt, probably feel a pretty good field position, and then they can start back again on another big touchdown drive. But now the Cougars are on the march.
Out to the 34-yard line, a 20-yard gain on the pass, and Brigham Young has a first down. 4:05 left to go in the first quarter. You have Smith and Heimuli in the backfield. Sweep to the left side. Smith, good blocking. Cuts inside his blockers. He got to the 42-yard line. Craig Garrett and Heimuli were leading the way blocking-wise, and Benedetti made the tackle.
You know, you got to give credit to Trevor Maddich, the center, number 50. He not only has to snap the ball and read the defense, make the offensive line calls, but he's got to pull, and he pulls on all the sweeps, and that's unusual for a center. They ask him to do a lot more than usual a center usually does. You see Locke and Craig Garrett out there, but Trevor's also out there leading the play, and that's a tough play for a center to snap the ball and then pull all at the same time.
Gain of 8, or make it 7, that is. 2nd and 3 for BYU from the 41-yard line. Heimuli finds some running room. Did he go down? I guess so. He thought he tried to regain his balance by just touching with his hand, but the official said he was down.
I think he was. He was crawling on his knees, and then it'll be 3rd and about 1. Big play for the Cougars coming up. But Wyoming is really starting to put some defense on the hit on the Cougars. You'll see this play is usually good for 3 or 4 with Locke up the middle. But he gets wrapped around here. And you'll see his knee go down, I think, right here.
Very short yardage for the first down.
Brock
Right
Ferris was the tackler
Yep.
for Wyoming. So BYU has 3rd down, less than a yard for the first down. Now the Cougars call timeout. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Brigham Young 14, Wyoming 7. And for a while it looked easy. Now the Cowboys are certainly back in the ballgame.
And that's what the coaches said. They said they rated Wyoming as a team a shade above Colorado State, but the big difference is Colorado State quit. They quit maybe 14 minutes left in the first quarter. And the Cowboys will never quit. They'll keep coming at you, make the big play, and it'll be a big difference. It's a different game with this kind of a team.
Next week, BYU plays the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. That game will be televised live regionally by ABC or Channel 4 in Utah. The week after that, BYU plays New Mexico in Albuquerque, and that game has been moved up to Thursday night, the 25th, and will be live nationwide on ESPN Sports Cable.
Good chance for the Cougars to be on national TV again, and it's been since Pittsburgh, hasn't it, that the rest of the nation's been able to see them.
They like them on ESPN, and BYU's received some good nationwide publicity this year by that all-sports channel.
I think it was that first game at Pittsburgh early in the season that really vaulted the Cougars to where they are now. There's been years past where they've had this long of a winning streak and this many games in a row, but there's a homecoming crowd for you. I think it's probably around 66,000 people. And well, anyway, that's what vaulted up into that top 10 so early in the season.
3rd down, less than a yard for BYU. Bosco gives to Heimuli, and Heimuli has the first down and then some. He's up close to the 50-yard line, coming off the left tackle position. Walter Kendrick tripped him up, but BYU has the first down. Some of the fans?
The Cougar Claw.
Cougar Claw.
Hi, Mom.
BYU ahead by a touchdown, 14-7 with 2:39 to play in the first quarter. And the Cougars have the ball now at midfield, 1st and 10 on their own 48. Bosco to throw. Swings it out to the right side. Heimuli catches it. And is down at the 45-yard line.
Same play. I don't think they've gotten downfield yet. It's still almost the first quarter's over. They're still going on the flat, the screens, the flats to the backs, and just taking 5 yards to correct. The same kind of philosophy they had last week. Very high percentage type throws, stuff that's going to get them first downs in 3 plays, and then they're waiting for, I guess, for the break in the defense to come up with that big downfield play. We'll see if that Coach Chow feels like that's happening right now.
Troy Schroeder tackled Heimuli. 2nd down and 4 for the Cougars. down, gets it away off and early.
Dropped it. He says he dropped it.
There's a flag down. There's a flag down back where Robbie threw the ball, and this penalty may be on the Cowboys.
Oh, boy, what a
Thaxton
turn of
had the
events.
ball. Did he drop it, Steve?
They say he dropped it. I don't know. The ref was right there. It looked like he caught it clean. It might be roughing the passer. I don't know. It could turn way against Wyoming right now and put him in a bigger hole.
They've been called with a personal foul, roughing the passer.
Oh, boy. That's a big turn of events right there.
Troy Schroeder that hit Bosco, or that had the ball.
Schroeder made the play, and I felt it looked like from here, but again, we're way up high. We can't really see it. And then I think had another blitz on the strong safety blitz that forced Robbie to throw it. You'll see it right here. The blitz has come from the left side, number 90. He might have got a piece of it.
Passer against the defense. First down.
And then you'll see Schroeder. He's right there. There's no one near him. It's just him and a touchdown if he can catch it and stay on his feet. But I guess he dropped it.
It's Thaxton, Galen Thaxton, who hit him. We get things straight here. Well, so far, for a stretch there, Steve, the breaks, if you call it that, have been going against BYU.
They really
that
have.
time it went against Wyoming. First down, Bosco to throw. Does throw. Incomplete. Bills had it shoot through his arms. That was a rifle-like pass.
Yeah, it was. And for a 4-yard pass, that's a little hard. But I'll tell you, the defense of the Cowboys are hitting hard, and they're, in some ways, might be intimidating these guys because they're sticking them very hard. You see Robbie, they're willing to take that roughing the passer to let Robbie know, hey, we're coming after you, and you better be ready.
Craig Earl makes the defensive play for the Cowboys.
You'll see maybe three or four guys make the hit on Kelly Smith right here. Maybe I'm seeing things, but there's at least 2 guys right there ready to make the hit.
That was Kelly Smith who had the ball, not Dave Mills, as I said. Here's the running play. Heimuli slips it through a couple of tacklers and then is pulled down, but a flag is thrown again.
It looked like maybe the Laquet got face mask, but it might be holding on Kelly Smith. Either way, I'm not sure. It's right there in the way. I think it's holding on Kelly Smith, yeah.
That's the call, holding on BYU. A minute 27 to go in the first quarter. And the last few minutes of this first period relegated somewhat to penalties.
It really has been, and just big plays.
And breaks.
We've had a quick kick, a halfback pass for a touchdown already. I think what's going on, I think Al Kincaid came into the game and saying, hey, how can BYU pass so much and never get a holding call? Coaches have been complaining about that for years.
Holding against the offense.
Maybe they got the
decline.
Referee's ears this week, and the refs are watching for it a little bit more. But that's 3 right early in the first quarter, and that's way more than the Cougars are used to.
They declined this one, Steve, so it is 3rd and 11 for Brigham Young on the Wyoming 32-yard line. 14-7. Bosco back to pass. Throws it over the middle. Overthrew Mills at the goal line, and he was open too.
He was there. Robbie just overthrew him, and that stick on Robbie a couple plays ago might have been the fact that he might be a little bit shaken up, but David was open over the middle, and now they'll have to punt. Shows you a little respect for the BYU offense. They could put them back 10 more yards, make it 2nd and 20, but I think the Cowboys would rather put them 3rd and 10.
They're going for the field goal, Steve, from the 38, so it'll be a 48-yard attempt.
Again,
by Lee Johnson.
This is well within Lee's range. I think the biggest thing is his direction, and he just needs to take a little bit off and make sure he puts it through the goalpost, because he can hit this distance very easily.
He is 6 of 7 this year kicking field goals. Here's the kick. It's kind of a line drive kick. Well, the official said it's no good. Boy, it looked close.
It did look good, didn't it? From here, I guess, again, we're way
Just
up.
a little bit to the left.
He drilled it, though. He hit a knuckleball right at the goalpost. Like I said, plenty of distance, just a matter of direction.
A minute 5 to go in the first quarter of this game. BYU still ahead 14-7. The Cowboys will get the ball 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line then, following the missed field goal by Lee Johnson.
And the Cowboys have got to feel good about what they've accomplished that drive. They stopped him 3 or 4 times, just big penalties put them in a hole, but that momentum's definitely shifted a little bit.
First down play for Wyoming. Runyon still with the ball. There's the pitch back. Leon White forces him outside, and Morrell comes up to help, and Leon White made that play.
That's a tough defense to go against the option, because you got such great athletes at linebacker spot. They can play those 2 guys. As the quarterback goes out to make the pitch, Leon can play either one of them. He's so quick and agile and big that he makes it very difficult to get outside.
That Wyoming player was injured. Was that
The Cowboys.
Mark Thomas, wasn't it? Mark Thomas is being taken from the field. Looks like he may have an injury to his leg, a severe injury. 2nd and 10. Runyon with the ball, running the option. There's the pitch back. Again, BYU trying to string it out, and they do it pretty well, too. Heyman there, but forcing it again was Leon White.
Yep, Leon is all over the field right now, and he is so quick. Now, there's what I said before. Steve Heyman and Kyle Morrell are going to have to make the big plays outside. That time it was Steve Heyman being out there, and he was the last guy before they would have had that first down.
Brigham Young ahead 14-7. The Cowboys have 3rd down.
3rd and 8.
And 8 on their 33-yard line with 18 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter.
See, the BYU defense is just forcing the pitch to be made way outside the hash marks. That's way too soon. They're being very successful at defensive ends of stringing that option out wide.
Runyon looking for a pass, throws for the sidelines and completes it. Now we'll have to see if it's enough for the first down, and I don't think so.
No, it's not. About a yard short. It'll be interesting to see what Al Kincaid does here. 4th and 1.
Sproul's covering. Griffin caught it. So Wyoming will have the ball. 4th down.
4th and 2.
And they'll need about a yard and a half for the first down. On their own 40-yard line.
I don't know. He's going to go for it. Now I got to question this because they got some momentum, and to lose it right here and give an easy score to the Cougars inside their own territory.
The running play. Oh boy, BYU hit him. I don't know if he made it or not.
He's very, very close. Looks like they're marking it.
I think so, the way they'll mark it.
Let's see. Oh boy, I can't tell from here.
To Evans.
They give it to him?
Yeah. By about the length of the football.
Yeah, they did it. In hindsight's 20/20, but to me, I think they got the momentum going. They got 4th down. They'll give BYU the ball again. And luckily, they made the first down to keep this drive alive.
Quite a gamble by Coach Kincaid.
Guess he figures to go for broke, huh?
That's going to end the first quarter, too. After 1 quarter of play, the score is Brigham Young University 14, and the University of Wyoming has 7.
And at the end of the first period, ladies and gentlemen, the Cougars of BYU 14, the Cowboys Wyoming 7.
Jay Monsen and Steve Young with BYU football.
Oh, boy, I like that.
You like that one, huh? That guy's a pretty good actor.
Holy smokes.
The Cowboys with the ball on 1st down. That's Lowe breaking into the secondary. They get a good run this time. Out to the 49-yard line.
That's the first time they've gone away from that option. And to me, BYU has definitely put some problems in that option. They've gone to different things. And maybe the trap plays and back and reverse plays are going to be effective now because BYU's doing a great job of stringing out that option.
Kyle Morrell made the tackle for BYU. The Cowboys have the ball 2nd down and 3 on their own 49-yard line. It's to the fullback. He's down at the 50. Evans, the ball carrier.
Brad Smith made the big play at nose guard.
Brad grabbed him and just stopped him, pulled him back.
Just lassoed him. Calf roping right here. You see Brad Smith right over the center. Just come from behind, gets stopped up, and then Brad's going to lasso him and say, no more, son.
3rd down, about a yard and a half for the first down for Wyoming. The ball at midfield. Cougars ahead of them 14-7. Runyon running the wishbone. Still has the ball. Hey, he's hit hard at the 50-yard line.
Leon White again.
He faked to the fullback. Tried to get outside and couldn't.
Looked like he might have the room for the first down. All of a sudden, Leon comes out of nowhere and makes a Superman play. There he is coming from the backside. He's chasing. No one blocks the backside guy. They don't think the guy's fast enough to come all the way from the other side of the field to make a tackle. And Leon White goes against all those odds.
Steve, they hesitated for a long time and then sent in Donnelly, the punter.
I think that's a good move. Don't give BYU the ball down there.
4th down and 2. Donnelly with the ball. Here's the kick. Tries to kick it out of bounds. He did not. He kicked it into the end zone.
Donnelly's kick is into the end zone.
Well, the Brigham Young offense will come onto the field now. Trailing, or leading, I should say, by a score of 14-7. Cowboys got the last score in the game, however. Take this opportunity to thank the BYU Cougar Club for providing funding for our KBYU telecasts. A major portion of the funding we receive for our sports telecasts coming from you, the members of the BYU Cougar Club. We've had a lot of response from Cougar Club members and people around the country who've been pleased to receive the telecast of these games live to church locations. We might just mention, some people say, what could we do to help? One thing would be join the Cougar Club. It would really be a great benefit to our telecast and to the BYU athletic program. First down play. BYU goes to the run, not much gain.
That time they faked the reverse to Mark Bellini. I think Coach Shaw would have wanted to call the reverse that time because it worked real well. They hand off to Laquet up the middle, then they faked the reverse to Bellini. It was wide open, but I think Coach Shaw just wants to see how Wyoming's going to play against that. Maybe he might come look for that play maybe later in the game.
Greg Engel made the tackle. Second down and 8 for BYU. The Cougars ahead 14-7. They got 2 very quick scores. And then the Cowboys scored on a trick play, a halfback pass play. And that's the scoring of the game so far. Sweep to the left side. Kelly Smith. Smith turns the corner and hits to the 26-yard line.
Kelly Smith, number 21 on the sweep.
Good blocking out in front of him, but the Cowboys had it pretty well covered too. Craig Garrick was leading the way. And Wyoming has an injury. Oliver Davis. Now Davis is in replace of Mark Thomas, who's been taken off the field because of an injury.
Well, that could be big because you lose the first 2 guys at that left corner position, and then that puts some kid who probably never played before out there, and that could be a big blow for Wyoming.
Cougars will face third down and 4 when play does resume with 12.5 left to go in the first half of the game. BYU leading 14-7. Next week, the Cougars at the Air Force Academy. And that game will be live on regional television, ABC. And I understand regionally it'll include as far east as Kansas City, the Rocky Mountain area, and then into San Diego.
We'll give those Aztecs a chance to look at the Cougars before they have to come to town in about maybe a month.
Just about a month. Utah playing at San Diego State tonight.
I think there's a couple teams laying low in the WAC right now, just kind of laying for the Cougars. I think the Aztecs of San Diego State is one of them, and the Utes I know are kind of laying for them. So they're all very interested to see what happens the next couple of weeks here with Wyoming and the Air Force next week.
Third down and 4 for BYU at the Cougar 26-yard line. Bosco fakes a handoff, back to throw, gets the pass off. It's caught to the 35, to the 40. He'll be out of bounds up near the 50-yard line. Kelly Smith coming out of the backfield. They get the big play for the first down.
I'll tell you, Kelly Smith has really proven to be a great receiver out of the backfield the last couple of weeks. He did play wide receiver at one time at BYU, and then they switched him back to halfback. But he's very capable of throwing the ball. One of the defenders almost got his hand out there. You'll see Kelly make a sure-handed catch and just turn it upfield. Very quick player.
Got a good block from Bellini.
He did.
BYU 37 yards rushing. Wyoming 31 rushing in the game so far. Kelly Smith, by the way, was the WAC Offensive Player of the Week last week. First down at the 44. Bosco to throw. 3-man rush. There's a flag down again. Wide open is Bellini. He caught it at the 30, and they have a flag down.
That's in the holding area. I don't know if they're going to call it again on him, but I'll tell you that was a great throw and a great catch by Mark Bellini, and he'll be very upset because that'll be 2 that they've brought back on him for holding calls.
I think it'll be called on Wong this time.
Let's watch Lewis Wong. I don't know if you're going to get a chance to see him. Where is he? He's up in front. Tough to see, but there's a great throw. And watch this catch by Mark Bellini. That's why he's starting for the Cougars right now. Look at that.
Well, BYU has been hurt in this game by penalties, in particular holding penalties.
Any of those young kids that are watching out there that want to be wide receivers, that was a great play for a couple of reasons. First of all, Mark plays a great catch. Here's the call.
Holding for the offense, first down.
That's the 4th time today that they've had that holding call. Get back to Mark Bellini's catch. He's at the sidelines, and he has the presence of mind to drag his feet because you have to have both feet in bounds. He could have easily just stepped out of bounds, but he drags his feet, and that's a great play. So any of you guys out there practicing to be wide receivers, that's a great thing to try to copy from Mark Bellini.
First and 20 from the 34-yard line for BYU. As the holding penalty cost them a great opportunity to score or may delay it. We'll see if it costs them. Bosco scrambling. Here's the pass. Incomplete. He overthrew Kozlowski at the 40-yard line. Kozlowski couldn't get up to it, and a couple of Cowboys couldn't get over to it.
Yeah, Robbie's got to be careful not to throw that thing up for grabs because they've already had one shot at an easy interception and dropped it. And he's thrown up a couple for grabs, and he's got to be very, very careful because the Wyoming, that's all they need is a big break like that, and they could tie this game up.
Oliver Davis was back in the game for Wyoming at the corner position, but now he comes back out hobbling.
Get a good shot of the Cougar sidelines. A lot of able-bodied guys ready to fill in if anybody goes down on the field.
2nd and 20 for Brigham Young on their own 34-yard line. Bosco gives him the draw to Hamuli, and the Cowboys are waiting for him. Gain's about 3.
Fully on the draw play.
Ted Story, the defensive end, got him first of all. So far today, that has not been an effective play for the Cougars.
Really hasn't. You know, last week they got beat by San Diego State 21-0. The Cowboys did. Those 21 points came on drives with 1 yard, 20 yards, and 40 yards. So the Cowboy defense is very, very tough, and I don't think that score last week was indicative of how well they can play.
3rd and 17 for BYU. Cougars leading 14-7. Bosco to pass on 3rd down. Sets up and throws. Complete by Kozlowski. A fine catch. Looked to me like Kozlowski was bumped off balance and then got up and caught the ball.
I'll tell you, he makes a big play whenever it needs it, and Robbie made a great throw out there. That's a long ball. He thrown to the sidelines. That's a strong arm and a great catch.
So Dane Ingram, who the strong safety, made the tackle. Their coach, Kincaid, says he's one of the best in the conference, Ingram, senior strong safety. Well, they overcame the 10-yard penalty on 3rd and 17. A big gainer to Kozlowski to the Wyoming 42-yard line. First down call for Brigham Young. Bosco to pass. Swings it out. It is caught. Caught by Kelly Smith. The gain of 4. Kelly spilled immediately by Mike Hill.
Cowboys are really trying to put the pressure on Robbie now, trying to fluster him a little bit and make him throw those up-for-grab type plays and see if they can get a big interception. They'll look for maybe a big blitz here on 2nd and 3rd down.
2nd and 5, Brigham Young on the Cowboy 37-yard line. 10:27 to go in the half. BYU leading 14-7. Bosco looking over the defense. Back to pass. They try to get to him. Now he gets the pass off. He threw that one away. Threw it over everybody's head. Now a flag goes down. And we're going to get a personal foul on Wyoming. You know, penalties are really playing a big role in this game right now.
They really are. That's a really lousy play by number 88. Coming in and hitting Robbie late. I don't think they can afford to do that. I know they want to intimidate him. It's making me start thinking about making almost bad plays and worrying about being rushed, but
here's the call.
Huh.
10 minutes, 11 seconds.
Poor play on the part of the Cowboys that time. They're playing big defense right now. They're doing very well, but they're putting themselves in the hole, and it's their own fault.
Personal foul, defense, first down.
First down for BYU on that late hit.
That's cost them dearly. Both of those roughing the passer calls.
Ted Story, number 88. Called on him. First down, BYU on the Wyoming 22.5-yard line. Here's the sweep to the right side. It is Kelly Smith, the ball carrier. Cuts inside. He's to the 13-yard line. Well, he had some good blocking out there. Nye and Wong, and also Dave Wright, and Bruce Mowry, and Greg Engel finally pulled Smith down.
2nd and 1.
Kelly's a junior from Beaver, Utah.
Student body right again, led by Lewis Wong and Nye and Garrick out there. Well, I tell you, those offensive linemen can really move.
You know, Kelly Smith has a parent who performed at BYU, but it was his mom. She was a Cougarette.
All right.
9:30 left to go in the first half. BYU threatening to score. 2nd down, short yardage. Hamuli to the 10. He's to the 8-yard line. Good run by Hamuli. Looked like he stopped at the line of scrimmage and waited for a man to get out of the way and then went down for the first down. Grant Salisbury tackled him.
First and goal to the Cougars on the Cowboys 9.
First and goal, Brigham Young on the Wyoming 9-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, the Cougars score here, you'll remember that big roughing the passing play and big third down, 3rd and 17 pass by Robbie. This score would not have come easy if they do score.
Bellini and Kozlowski way wide to the left. Bosco straight back to throw. Pretty good protection. Here's the pass. Touchdown, Bellini. Bellini made a great move to get open in the corner. And Brigham Young does score, and it's a pass to get it in there.
Finally, one of them counts for Mark Bellini. He's had 3 catches today, though, and 2 of them have been taken back. Finally gets one that counts. I think he's pretty happy about it.
I think that's his first touchdown pass of the year. Let's double check that for Bellini. When it comes to receiving, Bellini, that's his first touchdown of the year. So BYU leading 20-7. Lee Johnson is 2 for 2 extra point kicking in the game. So he's 16 of 19 this year, and here's the kick. It is good. He's 17 of 20. BYU 380 yards in 3:17, 11 plays. And the Cougars now lead by a score of 21-7 with 9:03 to go in the half.
UNOS is large and well known for our religious heritage.
Yet at BYU, we're working toward excellence in all things to solve more world problems, to change your life for the better. Because education lasts for all time.
Excellence in the 80s and you.
We're one of America's largest private universities. Now we're becoming one of America's best. Join us.
We're BYU.
Here's a touchdown pass. Robbie Bosco straight back. What they're doing is Mark Bellini's coming in motion on the inside in the slot. He's coming upfield, just breaking out to the corner, and Robbie just waits for him and makes a nice move on the defensive back. And that's what BYU practices for 6 months in the summertime right there.
Steve, we're also informed that personal foul came after the pass, that roughing the passer. It did not occur as Bosco threw the ball. It's once he got up,
someone must
and
have pushed
started
him back down.
That's when the hit came.
Crazy play. I tell you, it's really cost him right now.
Lee Johnson will kick off for Brigham Young. So far, he's kept it in the end zone each time on his kickoffs. Here's the kick. Very high and bounces about 2 yards before it goes out of the end zone. So it'll come out to the 20. Brigham Young leading 21-7 with 9:03 to go in the first half. Good way to regain the momentum.
It really is. I mean, the momentum is totally switched now. The Cowboys are reeling from what they felt like maybe they could turn the game into a tie. Now it's 21-7, and it's their own fault, I think. Really dumb play by the defensive end to come in and hit Robbie late after he threw the ball, and see if the offense can get it back for him.
First and 10 on the 20-yard line for Wyoming. Runyon with the football, dropping back to throws downfield, and it is caught. A nice catch at midfield.
Great catch.
Great catch by number 84, Jay Novacek.
That's the athlete that we've been talking about. Getting the ball to him is like a throwback. They faked their option right. You'll see it, what they've been doing all day.
Mark Allen tackles him.
He'll drop straight back, and then he looks at the throwback to Novacek, and Novacek makes a great play. I thought it was an overthrown football when it first left his hand, and watch this catch when someone roll over him. Who was that covering?
Mark Allen.
That was a great play at catch.
First and 10 at midfield for Wyoming. There's the pitch back. Boy, he got rid of it just in time. Down the sidelines and out of bounds inside the 40-yard line.
It looked like the fullback went the wrong way. And see, every guy in the triple option has a job. The nose guard and the defensive tackle have the fullback. The defensive end's got the quarterback, and the linebacker's got the pitch guy. And so if they got their guy, the fullback, he goes the wrong way, that sends the whole defensive line that direction, and it worked out that time. It worked perfectly, but I think it was a broken play.
Kurt Gavea made the stop, and Runyon was hit just as he pitched it. But he got it away. First down for the Cowboys on the BYU 35-yard line. 2 quick plays. Runyon gives it off the left side to number 25, Kevin Lowe. There is a flag down.
It's the illegal motion by the Cowboys. Cowboys again. That's 3 times, and I think it might be that right guard again, Baldacci, because he's in a new spot, and I don't know. He looked like he might have moved a little early. We'll have to see what the call is.
Kurt Gavea again on the stop for BYU. The Cowboys seem to be a different team than the team that started the game.
I think so. I think they come into this place with this big crowd and all the rankings and the things, the streaks of the Cougars, and I think everyone's got to be a little in awe. And then they quickly find out that, hey, we can play with these guys, and they get a little confidence, a couple of breaks, and you know, they find out that they're making themselves a little bit better, and many times they become big monsters when actually they're not that great of a team, but they just play up to the level of competition that they're playing against.
Against the offense, first down.
Okay, illegal motion call, 5-yard penalty.
Left guard this time.
Brian Howard.
That puts them in a big hole now. They're not a 1st and 15 type team. We'll see what they call.
1st and 15. Runyon running the wishbone. Still with the ball, looking to throw. Flips it downfield, and it is incomplete. Oh, my, he catch that? Oh. Hey, a great catch inside the 10-yard line by Jay Novacek.
Hey, he stepped out of bounds, though.
There's a flag up at the 20-yard line.
Can he come out of bounds? He got forced out of bounds, and he comes back in and makes a play that shouldn't be good. I think they're going to call interference also. When the ball left his hand, he got blocked out of bounds, and then he came back in and made the catch. He's out of bounds there. And this should be an illegal catch.
They've called interference on BYU.
Look at that catch, though. Look at that. Is an unbelievable catch
by Jay Novacek.
He truly is a great athlete. If they give that ball down there at the 8-yard line, it shouldn't count. They should not give him that ball because he came out of bounds. Once the receiver was out of bounds.
They called offensive or defensive interference.
That is a wrong call. He stepped out of bounds. He's an ineligible receiver once he goes out of bounds.
So it is 1st and goal for the Cowboys.
Someone write that down.
Okay. 1st and goal on the 9-yard line for Wyoming. BYU leading 21-7. 8 minutes to go in the first half.
The quarterback saying he can't hear. I think that's a big mistake by Runyon, because now the next time they come to the line of scrimmage, it'll even be louder. I think if he can get the play off, you got to go for it. We'll see what they do.
You've talked about that before, Steve, that the best thing to do is run the play. Then you quiet the crowd down.
Right, exactly.
So it's 1st and goal for the Cowboys on the 9-yard line. Taking advantage of breaks and some great play. 2 great catches by Novacek.
See, now he's even in more trouble. You see that? Now he really can't hear.
Runyon running the wishbone. He has the ball inside running play all the way to the 1-yard line. Nice run that time. Kind of a counter play with Jeff Westphal carrying.
That was a great call. That was that counter play that we saw back at the 30-yard line at the beginning of this drive. You'll see Runyon at the
Kerry Whittingham makes the stop.
You see the guard come across and block Jim Herman out. It's a big, nice trap play, and it just breaks wide open. You saw Runyon look back to the ref like, hey, now it's even louder. Are you going to stop it now? And the ref says, nope, go ahead. And I think that's a big mistake, but it paid off for him, and it worked out well.
Wyoming's had 7 penalties for 75 yards. BYU 5 for 65. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Evans, the fullback, dives. Did he make it? I guess not. He tried to dive into the end zone, and he didn't make it.
From our bird's eye view, it looked like he might have got across, didn't it, Jay?
Looked like it. Brad Smith is credited with the stop.
Well, you'll get a good look at it right here. He just saw hands off the fullback, leaps, and all that ball has to do is break that imaginary plate of glass across the goal line. It's a score, and I think they probably felt like they had it.
3rd and goal with the nose of the football right on the goal line. Hey, they sack him, or rack him up, not a sack. BYU just shot into the middle and controlled the line of scrimmage.
Oh my gosh.
Marv Allen, Jim Herman, you saw Kyle Morrell coming up. So what's Wyoming going to do?
They got to call timeout. It's the first thing they got to do.
That's right, they call timeout. Look at that, our defensive surge. They didn't have a chance to get rid of the ball. So the Cowboys will have 4th and goal on the 2-yard line.
Kyle Whittingham over the top, Marv Allen, Kyle Morrell. Here comes Jim Herman to finish it off. They didn't even get started.
Dave Evans, Evans, the fullback, as he received the ball, he was met by the BYU defensive charge. Now the entire Cowboy offensive unit comes over
on the sidelines to talk to Coach Kincaid.
I guess this is a tough call. You like the 3 points, but you get down all the way, and two great catches by Novacek. You want to get that score.
If you don't get in, boy, BYU could really break their momentum.
Yeah, it really does. They've got 7 minutes to go back and put the game away, actually, in the first half to go up by 21 points. But
7:04 to go in the half.
I'm sure he'll go for it.
The Cowboys will have 4th and goal on the 2-yard line.
Chris Nitchovich here sitting here is telling me that quarterback's going to fake the option and drop back and throw. We'll have to see if he's a prognosticator of any kind.
Chris would use the old backdoor play or something.
Yeah. He wants to pick and go.
4th and goal on the 2-yard line.
Listen to that crowd. Unbelievable.
Send a man in motion. No, they just shift over to the right. Runyon running the ball himself. Looking, and he did not make it, I don't believe. He did not make it.
He was right there, about a half a yard short.
What a defensive stand by the BYU line.
Oh my gosh, look at that crowd.
The Cowboys can't believe it.
Oh.
Leon White, it's Leon White that kept him out of the end zone.
Here's a replay. I think they're just going to roll out and have a run-pass option. Runyon gets outside. He doesn't see anybody open. He thinks he's going to run it. I think he's going to get stopped way early. He makes a nice run of it just to get to the 1-yard line. You see him beat Brad Smith right there. Here comes Jim Herman, misses him. Gavea misses him, and then Leon White gets a piece of him. And it looks like he might spin in the end zone right there, and maybe Mark Allen stops him short.
In fact, maybe Jim Herman got an arm on him there, too, to keep him out of the end zone.
Now the Cougars are in the bind, but they got to feel very fortunate that they've got the ball back now.
1st and goal on the half-yard line. BYU leading 21-7 in a great goal line stand. Bosco tries to get a little running room himself by going right up the middle.
I really believe that the crowd played a major factor in that drive right there, Jay, because they flustered them, they got down inside the 1, the crowd's behind the defense, they make a big play, and Wyoming is just, kind of floundering. I think the crowd really does play a part in this home crowd.
Steve, BYU has done this a half dozen times this year. They did it against Pittsburgh, they did it against Hawaii.
And it's won the games for them. It really has. The play by Calmero in Hawaii won the game for them. This might turn out to be the game winner right here.
And they've stopped teams several times in games. You can think of when it was 4th and short yardage trying to get first downs. So here's BYU with 2nd and 9 on the 1-yard line. Kozlowski in motion over the left. Bosco gives to Heimuli, and Heimuli makes it to the 5-yard line. The clock running with 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Galen Thaxton made the stop for the University of Wyoming. So BYU with a great goal line stop. Goal line stand, call it. And the Cougars keep their 21-7 lead. Right now, BYU 3rd and 6 on their own 5-yard line. They just announced to the crowd that the Air Force Academy did defeat Notre Dame today. Bosco to pass from the end zone. Now he's going to have to run it, and they down him at the 4-yard line. So the Cowboys had him well covered. Now it'll be up to Lee Johnson to get him out of trouble.
He's not going to have much room to do it, but he's got all the field to play with, and we'll see if he can boom one. That drive not only took the momentum away, but took 2 great catches by Jay Novacek that last drive by the Cowboys. You see Robbie drop straight back. He's got time, but I think the Wyoming defense has a great coverage downfield, and he says he doesn't want to get stopped in the end zone for a safety, so he'll just get out and take it from there.
It's Paul Kitka who tackled him. Lee Johnson kicking from right in front of the goalpost, right under the goalpost almost.
Lee's got to be careful not to step back on that line.
Shumway gets the snap, and here's the kick. Line drive kick to the 42. Taken there, and down at the 34-yard line. Lee had to hurry that one out of there. So the Cowboys get the ball in pretty good field position with 4:43 left to go in the half, and Brigham Young leading 21-7.
Plenty of time for the Cowboys to go down and score again. They really need to. They've done everything possible other than put the ball in the end zone. They've hurt themselves other times, and this is a big drive for them to finish off the half.
1st and 10 on the 34. Runyon with the ball, spins around, comes back the other way. There's a flag down. He's knocked out of bounds on the 30-yard line.
That flag comes in a spot where it might be holding. It's going to be a tough call. We'll have to wait and see.
kind of the, they sent the action to the right, and then he spins around and comes back the other way. Well, I'm sure BYU will be pleased to see that call go against another team.
Well, that's the first time probably against the Cowboys. Looked like they were holding Jim Herman on the outside, trying to wall him off. And there's Herm telling him, yeah, you guys are right. It's about time. Every player always says that. Big 10-yarder, too.
10-yard penalty. Here's the call from the referee.
Holding offense. First down.
Oh, and it's first and 20. In fact, it's first and 21 the way they marked it from the 45-yard line.
That was an extra penalty.
Runyon fakes a handoff. He still has the ball. Here's his pass. It's complete. Kyle Morrell made a good hard hit for BYU and Alan Griffin, but he hung on to it at the 34-yard line.
They faked that counter that they've been successful with the last couple of drives. Runyon goes outside, and he's all alone. He could have run it right here, but I think he makes a nice choice, sets up and drills it. He held on the ball a little bit too long. I think the wide receiver was open a little bit earlier. But they get down in good shape now that they can start running their 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense and see how it works out.
Second and 9 yards for the Cowboys. Runyon with the ball, still has it. Oh, dropped for a loss this time by Jim Herman.
There's Big Jim. He's got the quarterback. That's his job. He says, okay, I don't care where that quarterback goes, he's mine. What he does is he just beats Runyon before he can make the call, make the pitch. We got another holding call. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cougars decline this and make it 3rd and 12 rather than 2nd and maybe 18. I think they'd rather put him in a hole right away.
They're talking to BYU's one defensive captain, Jim Herman. The Cougars leading 21-7 with 3:41 left to play in the first half of the football game.
You know, Jay, I always love to see those defensive linemen.
Offense, decline, they're down.
There you go, that's what I thought they'd do. For those defensive linemen, when they get a sack, I'm not sure they really know what quite to do. You know, they get up, they want to jump, but then they don't want to do, you know, a point or do a dance, and they just end up hugging everybody. I think it's great to see.
All right, 3rd down, about 13 yards to go for a first down for the Cowboys.
Right after today's game,
and they've got a timeout on the field now. Scott Runyon, the quarterback, is over talking to Coach Kincaid. Next week, BYU on the road, the Air Force Academy at Colorado Springs. That'll be live on ABC Regional Television, Channel 4 in this area. And the week after that, BYU plays at New Mexico. And that game has been moved to a Thursday night, the 25th, and will be nationwide live on ESPN, the national cable sports channel.
You know, Jay, the Air Force Academy the last few years have really been giant killers. That's the 3rd game in a row they beat Notre Dame. They beat the Cougars here a couple years ago. They really have been playing well over the years. And
Another final of
might look for a big game.
Air Force, did they announce the score? How far did Air Force beat Notre Dame?
No, I didn't see it.
21-7, I'm told. Good win for the WAC. 3rd down and 13 for Wyoming on the BYU 37-yard line. Runyon fakes the handoff, still with the football, looking to throw, throws it downfield, and it is. Did he catch it? He caught it for a touchdown. Great catch. Wow, Alan Griffin made a sensational catch in the end zone, and the score is now 21-13.
Griffin is their speedster outside, and Morrell and Sprouse are right there. It looks like Kyle Morrell has his hand in his face, might knock it away, but a great throw by Runyon. You'll see him. You'll see Kyle and Sprouse, Kyle Morrell right there, and just makes a great catch.
Sensational catch by Alan Griffin, his 2nd touchdown of the year. So BYU held him out of the end zone on the goal line stand, but the Cowboys come right back and score. And here's Andy Cottingham to try the extra point. Here's his kick, and it is good. And Cottingham is now 8 of 9 on the season. And so the Cowboys hanging in there.
They really are, and they're going to point to that. Coach Kincaid's going to go into halftime and say, look, guys, we could have had more. We could have the lead here. If you guys quit fooling around and making the big mistakes and quit hitting Robbie Bosco late, we might have had it.
21-14 the score.
Oh, my gosh.
What's that, Janet, I love you?
Will you marry me?
Marry me?
Someone's proposing at homecoming. Oh, well. Hope Janet agrees. That'd be embarrassing if she said no, wouldn't it?
I wonder how we get the answer. You see her down there any place?
I hope she sees it.
I don't know exactly which one Janet is, but 3:35 to go in the half, so the Cougars also have some time, scoring-wise. With 3:35 to play in the first half, this Wyoming team has just announced to BYU they're here to play. They're for real today.
They really are. And like you said earlier, Jay, they're an up-and-down team, and this is their turn to be up, and they really are so far today. I think their own mistakes have put them in the hole, and that's what's really cost them.
Kicking off is Andy Cottingham. BYU leading 21-14. The Cougars jumped ahead to a quick 14-0 lead, but the Cowboys have scored on 2 long passes, a halfback pass and now one from their quarterback.
You know, I bet Wyoming, if they were smart, they'd kick this mother right out of the end zone, because that gives Vicek a chance to return a kick. It's just not what they want, but I don't know if he has enough leg. He sure doesn't.
Sikahema takes it to the 5-yard line. 10, 15. Oh, is he hit this time? By trying to get around the 15-yard line, and he's decked.
That's a way to stop him.
Toriano Taylor hit him hard.
Oh, I tell you. You see, they kick it short, and I guess the kicker, if I was a defensive coach, would want to say, hey, just kick it out of the end zone, keep it away from Vi. But here's 34, just waiting for him. There's nothing much Vi could do, and he took him head on.
1st and 10, Brigham Young for the Cougars on their own 17-yard line, leading 21-14. BYU ranked number 5 in the nation, playing their homecoming game. But here in the first half, they haven't been able to put the Cowboys away, although they're playing well. Bosco will pass on 1st down. Does throw. Nice catch by Mills. He had to scoop down and get it. Reached down around his ankles to catch it near the 30.
That's one of those plays that the Cougars have run the last 5 games and been very successful at. It's Mills just going 10 yards downfield and turning around in between the linebackers in the zone. And Robbie's just waiting for him. As soon as he turns, Robbie just lets him have it. And that one didn't leave Robbie's handle quite the way I'm sure he wanted to, but David Mills made a great catch at the ground level.
Bruce Mowry tackled him. It's a 1st down for Brigham Young on the 29-yard line. Sweep to the right side, Kelly Smith. He's over the 30 to the 35, out to about the 37-yard line. Pretty good run by Kelly. Robert Anai leading the way, blocking. Louis Wong was also there.
I'll tell you, if the Cougars could just keep a nice, solid scoring drive here and put in some more points on the board, it could really hurt the Cowboys. The Cowboys have got to be looking to stop this drive and get another punt and run the clock out and go in 21-14, because to go down 28-14 might be a big change in the momentum.
Tim Gosar, our linebacker, tackled Smith. We have 2:40 left to play on the first half. BYU is 2nd and 2 at the Cougars' 38-yard line. Bosco back to throw. He fumbled the football. I think he got it back himself. They chased him out of the pocket. He dropped it. The ball just laid there for a while, and then
Louis Wong got it.
Did Louis get it?
Yeah, Louis got it. That's an alert play by Louis on it. Robbie looks like he might break free and gain some big yardage, but loses the football as he goes. Plenty of time. Looks like 94 strips the ball from him, and it's just laying there. And Louis Wong makes an alert play right there. Big Lou.
Well, Brigham Young has 3rd down then. 3rd and 9, back on the 30-yard line, with 1:53 to play in the first half.
Here, Jay, you'll notice there's a 3-wide receiver offense now. Put a lot of pressure on those defensive backs.
3-man rush. Bosco gets the pass off, and Kozlowski, did he hang on to it? No, the officials say it's incomplete.
That's unusual for Koz. He usually comes up with that big catch, but the ball's not flying the way I think Robbie wants it to right now, and I don't know what it is, but they're kind of floating out there, and Koz is trying to make some shoestring catches, so that one got away from him.
Oliver Davis covering. Brigham Young in a passing down then with 1:38 to play in the first half of the football game. BYU leading 21-14, and the Cougars will have to give up the football as Lee Johnson will punt.
Sorry, Jay, that's exactly what the Cowboys wanted to happen.
Kicking from his 15-yard line. The snap is right to him, and he gets a very high, deep punt away. Back to the 18-yard line, taken there. Back up to the 28-yard line, up the sidelines, 40, 45, to midfield to the 50. Hey, he's outside, down to the 30-yard line. He's going to tie this football game up. as Oliver Davis runs it all the way back for a score on the punt. And the Cowboys are coming right back at BYU.
Well, I tell you, that is unbelievable play. They had a nice wall set up. I'm sure we'll see the replay in a second, but those... there we go. Here it comes.
Oliver Davis
set up on the left side. Guys start getting picked off more and more. You see the right side of the screen, guys. There's a nice little corridor where he's going to run, and then Lee Johnson's the last guy he's got to beat. And Lee, you'll see him run by him right here. There's Lee right there slipping. I think his bare foot really cost him there. He might have made the tackle. Looks like he slipped on his bare foot that he punts with. Then it's just a foot race, and too fast. I'll tell you, what a turnaround.
Believe it or not, with a minute 19 to go in the half, it's Brigham Young 21, Wyoming 20, and they'll try to kick the extra point. Cottingham. Here's the kick, and it is no good. He missed it. Off to the right. It looked like he kicked a knuckleball.
That is unbelievable.
Well, I said they're going to tie it up. They're going to fall short of point then. With a minute 19 to go in the half.
That could kill him. I mean, that could really come back to haunt him. All the things that have happened in this first half, the roughing the passer, the penalties, the callback plays, and then missing that, everything's going against them right now. Even when they get a big play, they can't convert the extra point.
The Wyoming Cowboys were down 14-0. They have now made the score 21-20. BYU leading by a point, and we have a minute 19 to play in the first half.
I didn't even look like he kicked the ball. It looked like he kicked the tee, and the ball just kind of went straight up in the air.
Yeah, no drive to it at all.
Jeez. And there wasn't much of a rush either. They about concede those extra points.
Boy, the Wyoming Cowboys got them fired up now. They're really believing in themselves as they just keep bouncing back.
They really have. That kicker, they might have to decrease his scholarship. Cut back his pay.
1:19 to go in the half. And the Cowboys will kick off to Brigham Young. Here's the young man out there that missed the kick, Andy Cottingham, kicking off.
Andy better boom this one through the end zone to make up for it.
BYU with Sikahema and Parker back deep. Brigham Young 21, Wyoming 20. Cowboys spoiled a Cougar homecoming back, I think it was 76 when Gifford Nielsen was quarterback.
I think that's true. They really did. Have you seen a downfield pass by the Cougars today? It seems like everything's very short and wide laterally. And maybe they're trying to set up something for the second half. But,
there's a bouncing kick. Fielded at the 20-yard line. And knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Salanoa for BYU. The Cougars will take over near the 30. Craig Earl forced him out of bounds.
Well, if you can't kick it out of the end zone, I think the best thing is just keep away from the line. I'm sure that's what the coach decided. Just bounce it down there and let somebody else return it.
First and 10, Brigham Young on their own 31-yard line. With BYU leading 21-20.
I'm sure they'll go downfield now, Joe.
Bosco at quarterback. Back to throw, three-man rush. He'll run it up the middle. Now goes for the outside, goes down at the 34-yard line.
That time they have three receivers in again, and they might go hurry-up offense. I think they better, unless they're just going to concede the half.
Tim Gosar covering, as Robbie couldn't find anybody to throw it to. Well, the Cowboys are proud of their defense.
They really are, and they should be. They're playing very well right now.
Second down and 7 for BYU from the 34. Bellini wide to the right. Kozlowski to the left. Back to throw is Bosco. Does throw. See if they rule that a catch or not.
I guess they're off the ground again. Koz is doing everything possible to try to catch the ball. Robbie is just lost himself flying the way he wants it to, I guess. But that's 3 or 4 now that have been down on the shoe level, and I think Koz is trying to dig him out of the dirt.
33 seconds left to play in the half. BYU faces 3rd and 7 on their own 34-yard line. Next week, the Cougars on the road against the Air Force. BYU with the nation's longest winning streak, 16 in a row. Bosco on 3rd down. Completes it to Mills at midfield for a first down. He's to the 48-yard line of Wyoming with 28 seconds to go now in the half. That time Mills got open and Bosco drilled it.
Still plenty of time to get down inside the 20 and take a couple of shots at the end zone.
BYU does call a timeout, Steve. So they're going to try very hard to see if they can get a score here.
Is that their first time out, Jay? They've got them listed up as this is their last time out, but I don't remember any before.
I don't either.
Does our statistician Chris Nichevich have anything to say about that? He's not sure either. Okay.
Chris excited. Of course, we could talk basketball for a minute. The basketball team from Brigham Young, as far as that goes, from any of the schools, starts practice on Monday. And the first game for BYU is around the 30th? It's in November, around the Thanksgiving weekend.
I think they head over to the Stanford tournament, don't they?
Stanford tournament, right. And then they've got UCLA and Washington at home. A couple of easy ones.
Anything's better than last year, though. Kentucky twice, and Georgetown, and holy smokes.
28 seconds to go. A lot of newcomers on the BYU basketball team this year. For the most part, as far as starters are concerned, you only have guards back. And then a lot of new faces on the basketball team this year. 1st and 10, BYU on the Cowboy 49-yard line with 28 seconds left to play in the half. Bosco back to pass. Good protection. Now throws for the sidelines, completes it to Heimuli, who's down at the 42-yard line. The clock is running with 17 seconds.
He made a big mistake there. He could have turned and gone right out of bounds and stopped the clock, but now they've got a hurry-up offense, and they're losing time and might not even get this play off. And Robbie ought to use his last timeout.
Oliver Davis. Robbie stop. They have to hurry. They won't get it underway. They do. Throws it out of bounds. Do they stop the clock? No, the time has run out, I believe.
Well, that's a big mistake. Robbie should have used his last timeout with about 15 seconds to go in the half, and didn't. And that's the half.
That ends the half. So the Wyoming Cowboys have played BYU to a standstill here in the first half, and they're going off the field really excited about their first half performance. After the first half of play, Brigham Young 21, the University of Wyoming has 20. Coach Edwards is still out on the field talking to the referee, saying that they think that BYU got the clock stopped.
Lee Johnson's not going to go off the field yet either. He's setting up for a field goal. He thinks there's 1 second left. He wants to try a 59-yard field goal.
Well, the officials say that that's it. That's the end of the half. So the Cougars leave the field a little unhappy over things right now.
Sure, but they got to be happy it's not tied.
Okay, that's the end of the first half. After one half of play, Brigham Young 21, the University of Wyoming 20. Okay, Jay Monsen, Steve Young at Cougar Stadium in Provo, where it is halftime. BYU leading by a score of 21-20. Our telecast still going live to church locations around the country.
My parents saw it back in New Canaan, Connecticut when we did the Tulsa game. My mom was really happy about that.
Oh, maybe they're there today.
And she said, I remember I said hello to my mom and she heard me. She was really happy about it.
The roar of approval you hear is for the officials. The crowd not very happy at some of the...
Anytime Coach Edwards has something to say, people really respect that. And when he doesn't get his way in Cougar land, that doesn't go over well here.
Hey, Steve, for a minute, we've received a lot of letters from all over the country from people who are watching these games. We wanted to comment on this. And also to mention a lot of the people who write or call or, simply make it known, say, what can we do to keep the telecast coming? Well, there are a couple things you can do. One would be to write and tell the Cougar Club that you do appreciate the telecast. We'd like to hear from you and find out how many people are viewing the games around the country. So we will put up a mailing address for you. And again, we would appreciate very much hearing from you. And another good way, and seriously, if you want to see that these things continue through the years, and we'll be televising some basketball games live to church locations too, we could use the financial help.
That's for sure.
If you're not a member of the Cougar Club and you'd like to become a member, you can do so for as little as $100. And we'd encourage you to contact Dale McCann or Cougar Club officials and send your $100, become a member.
Jay, I don't know for any people that are listening that haven't been associated with the Cougar Club and don't know what it does, it takes over the whole athletic program. It makes it a Class 1 organization. You're proud to... I remember the Cougar Club visiting. I mean, we'd come off a plane in a foreign place of a big away game, and there would the Cougar Club be, wherever we were, trying to support us, help us know that we got people behind us.
Jay Monsen and Steve Young at Cougar Stadium in Provo, the BYU homecoming. The Cougars with a narrow 1-point lead as we open the second half, 21-20. You see some of the stats on the screen. BYU has the edge in about all of them.
Yeah, they really do, but it's interesting. The one stat that isn't there is the punt return that they had for about 75 yards for a touchdown. The possession time, BYU's leading, which is unusual. Robbie's, under the statistics, isn't throwing that badly. 16 of 27 for 238 yards. That's plenty of yards in the first half, but not as many points as they're used to. And so they'll have to get things established. I think they get the ball here to start the second half, and it's important that they reestablish some of the momentum they had early going, because I really believe that the Wyoming has established themselves well. They've taken that overhanging things about the consecutive win streaks, the rankings, the 65,000 homecoming crowd, and now it's just a plain old football game, one team against the other.
I was going to mention, has nothing to do with what you're talking about there, Steve, but this year Val Hale of the Sports Information Office at BYU, and others, but they've developed in the programs, in the color programs, the center section, an interesting picture. I don't know, what is it this week?
It's the defensive backs. Yeah, they're really interesting. Yeah,
they had one of Robbie, heir apparent. And each week they will feature a particular segment. Now, I know a lot of people are collecting these. You see them, there it is, football season with the defensive backs out duck hunting, or hunting for footballs, I guess. But a lot of people are collecting these. KSL Radio helps sponsor this, so I think they should be complimented for what they're doing.
It really is great.
You can, well, again, people are collecting the picture, sort of like you collect baseball cards.
There you get a good look at Mount Timpanogos, snow-capped. A little storm came through a couple days ago, a little rain, and down the valley, and snow up there, really pretty, and a full-packed stadium tonight.
And here we go with the start of the second half. Brigham Young University trying for an unprecedented 9th consecutive WAC championship. The last WAC loss BYU had was to the Air Force right here a couple of years ago. The last team to tie BYU for the title was this team we're playing, Wyoming.
What was it, 6 years ago?
6 years ago, I believe. Cottingham kicking off for the University of Wyoming. BYU or Cottingham, that is, BYU will receive to start the second half. There's one of those programs we were talking about. That's the centerfold of the program today. The kick was a very short kick. It looked like it bounced off a BYU player, then went rolling towards the sidelines and goes out of bounds. So BYU will have it there.
I guess they've decided to just kick it right away from Vi, and the kicker obviously doesn't have a strong enough leg to put it out of the end zone. So they'll just bounce it up and let it bounce off somebody. Maybe they can recover an onside kick, but will continually put BYU in pretty good field position because they can't get them deep in their own territory.
See if BYU can reestablish control of this football game. They had it early. They're going to talk to the BYU team captains now. The kick went out of bounds on the sideline. Was it touched by a BYU player?
I didn't see a flag go up. I don't see one on the ground, but it looks like they might have a choice whether to have it re-kicked or take it right there. I think they're going to take it right there.
Here's the call. Offsides on Wyoming on the kickoff is refused by BYU.
Offsides refused by BYU.
So now we'll see if the Cougar offense can reestablish control. They had it early in the game, as we mentioned, and the Cowboys really came roaring back. First and 10 BYU on the Cougars' 24-yard line. Brigham Young leading 21-20 as we open the third quarter. Robbie Bosco at quarterback, Hamuli and Smith at the setbacks. In motion is Orr. And it's an end around with Orr carrying the ball. Now he passes downfield, and it is almost intercepted. Oof. Well, the Cougars went to their bag of tricks. There's also a flag down.
I think
was he past the line of scrimmage?
Yes, he was past the line of scrimmage. We talked about that. They set up that reverse earlier in the game. We thought they might come back to it, and then they were going to throw off it. And I think Richard Orr made a poor decision where I think he could have just run it for maybe 15, 20 yards, threw it up for the grabs, and I think Wyoming defensive back had a
Benedetti.
A real legitimate shot at intercepting that football. Not a great way to start the game. Now it's a loss of down. I think it's a I don't know if it's 5 or 15-yard penalty, but maybe you'll see it. It's a fake handoff to Lacay over the left tackle, reverse to Richard Orr, and looks like he's got plenty of running room right now. But he looks like he's going to set up and try to throw it. He's over the line of scrimmage right now. He's over. And then he lets it fly, and you'll see Benedetti. He has a real legitimate shot at intercepting this football and should have come down with it, I think. But David Mills makes a nice defensive play. That's twice that BYU receivers had to make a defensive play to keep ball from being intercepted.
It's a 5-yard penalty from where he threw the football. It's also, as Steve pointed out, loss of down. So it's 2nd and 12 for BYU. And the Cougars struggling. Bosco back to pass, 3-man rush. Gets the pass away, and it is almost intercepted. Intended for Mills, and Mike Hill had the football and dropped it.
Here's a replay. That's 3 that should have been intercepted today. He could have come down on that very easily. And so Robbie's very fortunate not to have a few interceptions today. He'll drop back. Kelly Smith's breaking across the middle. You looked at him right there, doesn't feel good about it. And he's going to let it go to David Mills. And Mike Hill really makes a nice effort at trying to catch that football.
He had 2 shots at it. 3rd and 12 for Brigham Young. So BYU struggling to get that offense going. Bosco back to pass on 3rd down. Chased out of the pocket. He will run the ball. Not nearly enough for the first down, and the Cougars will have to pass. And the Cowboys are doing a good job of covering, or Robbie's having a tough job picking up the receivers, or both. Steve McMillan made the tackle.
I'll tell you, they really put a lot of pressure on. They're covering well downfield. They're playing great defense right now, and they've got to be pumped up. Coach Edwards always, like I said, declines that if they win the toss the opening game, opening of the first half, so he can get that ball to open the second half. He wants the offense to have the ball to establish things, to go down and score. And the Wyoming Cowboys have nullified that and made him force him to punt here.
Lee Johnson in to kick, kicking from his own 10. Rob Zelenka, their big defensive end, was helped off the field after that play, shaken up. Here's the kick. Lee kicks it very high, and it'll come down at the 31-yard line. Taken there, he signaled a fair catch.
Well, I tell you, hang time on that one must have been 6 seconds.
Boy, he kicked that one up in the air. 4.9, the official hang time.
Okay.
I exaggerated a little.
4.96, it's all the same, isn't it?
BYU not able to get anything going. The first time they have the ball, they'll turn it over to the defense. The Cowboys with the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line.
And here comes the crowd to life. I think the crowd's going to play a big factor in the second half.
Brigham Young ahead, 21-20. Well, they had a tough one this year with Hawaii and pulled it out in the end. And the Cowboys are really giving BYU quite a football game today. Wyoming 2-1 in league play. BYU is 2-0. Runyon at quarterback. That's the fullback. Runs right into Gavea, but gains 5 yards.
That's what they want to start establishing in, is that option. They didn't have very much success at it the first half, but I think if they can start establishing that fullback, then they start compacting that defense, then they can't string out that option, and that's what they were able to do. The BYU defense strung out that option and forced it out wide, and they just forced them right out of bounds. Now if you can establish that fullback right up the middle, crash those defensive ends back down, then Wyoming can get that option going for them.
2nd and 5 for Wyoming. BYU ahead by a point. Sent a man in motion. Runyon with the ball, still has it himself. Breaks into the secondary all the way to the 50s. Breaks a tackle down to the 45. Cuts back in and tackled from behind by Whittingham, and that was a saving tackle.
That really was. Kerry Whittingham made a great tackle there. A lot of speed. That Runyon's a very quick kid. Turned the outside. He kept it. That's the first time he's kept it all day, where he had some running room. You see the option. Jim Herman goes down. Here comes Leon White from behind. Doesn't quite get there in time. And there's Kerry Whittingham getting beat right there, and he'll come back. He's at the right side of your picture, and he's going to come back and make the tackle. That's great hustle and a game-saving, a touchdown-saving tackle by Kerry Whittingham.
See that, a shoestring tackle. So the Cowboys have the ball, 1st and 10 on the Brigham Young 23-yard line. They're trying to take the scoring lead. Runyon with the ball. Big hole off the left side and a good gain to the 14-yard line as Kevin Lowe carries. And Kyle Morrell tackles him. And boy, Wyoming down by a point. They're trying to take the lead in a big hurry.
I really like their play calling so far, Jay, because they're running the option. They're trying to establish the fullback. Then they come back with a little counter play. Now they might throw the ball. They got things going. That's when you get the BYU defense kind of looking, what's next? Who's going to get the pressures? The option coming. Then the cheerleaders trying to get things pumped up for Wyoming. But
you can bet all the WAC would like to see Wyoming win and bring the Cougars back to the pack. 2nd and 1. Runyon with the ball. Gives it to his fullback, and he scores. He's in there for the touchdown. Dave Evans, that is in for the touchdown.
Fullback right up the middle. Evans makes a cut right there against the grain, a reminiscence of Air Force a couple years ago when they just killed BYU with that fullback right up the middle. They've got the BYU defense reeling, and an interesting call here would be to go for 2 and 1, Jay.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I was thinking that myself. Dave Evans has just scored his 2nd touchdown, and BYU, before a homecoming crowd, the Cougars are down 26-21.
And they're going to go for 2. Now by 5. Well, I guess that's a good play.
12-16 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Cowboys score in a hurry.
I think this is going to be a very important play come to the game. This 2-point conversion.
Runyon to throw for it. Does. Nice defensive play for BYU. It is not good.
That could come back to really cost them. Because there's only a 5-point lead. All they need to score a touchdown.
Jeff Sprouse did it. 1 minute, 51 seconds, 5 plays, 70 yards, and the Cowboys lead.
Sprouse made a great defensive play right here.
He just
had his hands on it, yeah. I think that was a poor play by the Wyoming man. He had his hands on it. It would have been a pretty tough catch, but should have been made.
Well, Brigham Young is down. They're trailing 26-21. That's the second time this year they've trailed in a league game. They trailed in Honolulu and came back to win.
It'll be interesting to see the play calling by Coach Chow in the box right now. I don't know what he's going to go to. They haven't gone downfield very much, and whenever they have gone downfield, Robbie hasn't thrown the ball too well. He's had a couple of chances at being intercepted. So I think they ought to just stick with their game. The short passes, the high percentage passes, just move down the field like they have the last couple of weeks.
The Wyoming Cowboys, they've got to believe in themselves now. Boy, they've established themselves in this game.
They really have.
12-16 to go in the third quarter. Wyoming ahead by 5. And if they do stop BYU, then they can really start to play their game.
And they get back to that play calling, the count, doing what they've been doing. That's not an easy job, and that's stopping the BYU offense.
They're ready to go at the kickoff.
Number 19, Cottingham.
Cottingham is lined up to kickoff. Kicks a line drive. Bounces picked up at the 20-yard line. Salino to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, up to the 38-yard line. Thor Salinoa for BYU with a pretty good return.
That really is. They got to keep it away from him now.
BYU will take over 1st and 10.
There's a look at Thor. He's a strong safety they converted to a running back this year, and he's come in and really helped solidify the running back spot for BYU. And here comes the crowd. They're going to play a very important part here in the second half.
Well, the BYU offense must get on track. They're 60 yards away from a TD, 62 yards away, and did not move the ball at all the first time they had it, this second half. Bosco back to throw on 1st down. Does throw, and it is incomplete. He had Bellini and Mills down there, and he threw it between the two of them.
I think he was trying to get the ball to David Mills in kind of a dead area there between the strong safety and the cornerback, and just overthrew me. A lot of pressure, but just, that wasn't even close at all.
So it'll be 2nd and 10.
That was it looks like they're going to start going downfield a little bit more to try to get big chunks of yardage every play.
Or wide to the left, Kozlowski to the right. And it's 2nd and 10 for BYU. Running play, Kelly Smith breaks one tackle, comes for the outside, and he's all the way to the 50-yard line. Good run, good second effort by Kelly Smith.
Great play by Kelly. That's what the Cougars needed to get started on this drive. And he made a nice move right when he got the ball. He could have gotten dropped for a loss and made a nice move.
Mike Gill tackles him.
It's just a draw. Robbie's going to look like he's going downfield, drop back, and then he just hands it off to Kelly. It looks like he might be stopped right here. Breaks the tackle, and then he's out in the open and makes 11 yards. Great play.
1st and 10, Brigham Young at the ball at the 50-yard line. Bosco straight back to pass. Swings it over to Heimuli. Heimuli down the sidelines, 45, down to the 40, and down to the 35-yard line. Nice run by Heimuli after he caught the ball. Pete Benedetti tackled him.
That's a nice call. It looked like they were putting a lot of pressure on Robbie. Coach Chow brings the play down, says, hey, let's throw a little screen out to Lacquet, take the pressure off, just get it outside and let him run with it, and that's a very good play calling.
Wyoming leading 26-21 with 11 and a half to go in the third quarter, and BYU trying to regain the lead. They led at one time 14-0.
That's a big drive for the Cougars right here, and I think a big play for the Wyoming Cowboy defense.
Bosco on the draw. Kelly Smith into the middle, breaking tackles. He's down close to the 20-yard line. Good run by Kelly. BYU has an injured player.
David Mills is down on the field. Looks like he's really hurt. I don't know if something happened to his face. Maybe someone got a finger in his eye or something. But you'll see Kelly on a draw again. He's got blockers downfield, makes a nice run. Let's see what happened to David. I can't really tell.
Dane Ingram made the tackle with a lot of help. So it's Dave Mills who's hurt. helping him to his feet, and
I think it might have been like a finger in the eye, or because he reached right for his face.
He's able to walk off the field okay, but the injury is to his face some way. 1st and 10, Brigham Young on the Wyoming 22-yard line.
Now you really might see 3 wide receivers in the game now that David's out, and put pressure on those outside cornerbacks for Wyoming.
Okay, 1st down for the Cougars. Trying to get a TD and back into the lead.
Here comes the wave again, trying to get the Cougars psyched up for a big score.
Sweep to the left side, Kelly Smith. He tries to turn the corner, no blocking out there. He reaches the 20-yard line.
I'll tell you, there's really a lot of hitting going on. Craig Garrick slow off the turf. Dave Wright looks like he's struggling up, trying to get up off the turf.
Galen Saxon was the tackler.
There's a lot of hard hitting going on.
2nd and 8 for BYU on the Cowboy 20-yard line.
I bet those coaches for the Cowboys can't believe what's going on, but they want it to keep going, whatever it is.
Or brings a play in for BYU. There are the Wyoming coaches. 2nd and 8 from the 20. Rush is on this time. Robbie gets the pass off. It's caught by Heimuli. Not a big gain. He's to the 18, maybe the 17-yard line.
Nice defensive play by Mike Hill. Blockade is not easy to bring down in the open field. They came with the blitz, and Robbie beat it and got the ball off, but not for a big gain. You'll see the blitz come from the right side, left side of the screen. Number 39 trying to get around, and they're just trying to wall him off, and Robbie drops it off to Blockade. Great play.
Well, the yardage coming hard right now.
It really is. 3rd and about 7. This is a tough call. And how they're going to keep 2 wideouts. Trevor Molini's replaced David Mills at tight end.
3rd and 7 from the 18-yard line. Bosco bootlegging. Will he run it himself? He's going to try to get the yardage. Trying. He dove. Did he make it? He did. What an effort by Robbie Bosco.
Showed a lot of speed there and jumped over a few guys. Here comes the replay. It's called a bootleg. It's just a naked play where he gets no blocking out there. He's got one guy to beat. It's just a foot race.
I didn't think he could beat him.
Lineman. Looks like he's going to throw it now. He's got to beat number 88. And you'll see him right here at the end trying to go for the 1st down. Jump over a guy that's getting blocked right there. That's a pretty good athletic play.
Robbie Bosco picking up a big 1st down for Brigham Young. 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. Gives him the draw to Heimuli. There's a big hole. It's closed in a hurry. Looked for a minute like it might go, but he got inside the 10 is all. And Paul Kitka tackled him.
So you're right, Jay. The yards are coming very hard right now, and that 3rd down play by Robbie's a big play, but that was a big hole, and they just closing it down very quickly. They're playing aggressive football, and they're just hustling the football and just closing those holes before they can get open too much.
2nd and 7 on the 8-yard line for BYU. The Cougars trying to regain the lead. They trail by 5. Bosco to pass. The rush is on. Gets it off. Heimuli catches at 5. Will he score? He does. Heimuli's in there. Did they have the blitz on? Looked like it, Steve. LaKay Heimuli gets on. I should say. As Bosco unloaded the ball in a hurry. That time they couldn't bring him down in the open field.
That's right. You can't get him out there too much room to run because it's going to be hard to bring down, but it's a play action fake by Bosco. Looks like they're going to go for 2 and try to put this lead up to about 4 points or 3 points so that a field goal would have to tie it rather than win the football game.
Brigham Young leading 27-26 as the Cougars come back with a good solid drive, a tough drive to regain the lead. And they'll go for a 2-point conversion. Bosco looking to throw for it. Does. It's there. There's a flag down.
What they've done, this is a 2-point play. It's a pick pass. Cause goes inside it. It's really kind of an illegal thing, but Cause goes in and tries to pick the guy off that's covering Mark Bellini. The ref saw it this time. They're going to call it a blocking downfield, illegal block by Cause. And usually it doesn't get called because it happens so fast the ref doesn't catch it, but he caught it this time.
Go to the kickoff.
So it means that the conversion does not count. with 3 minutes 30-second drive, 64 yards, 8 plays, and BYU leads by a point, 27-26. We'll be back in just a moment.
Mountains lies Brigham Young University, the nation's largest private university. Sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, BYU is committed to academic excellence and ongoing research, such as Dr. Roland Robbins' discoveries in the BYU Cancer Research Center. BYU's athletic prowess is evident, and its emphasis on social, moral, and spiritual growth mixed with academics makes the BYU experience unique. Through a dedication to excellence, BYU students are taught to lead lives in pursuit of integrity, truth, and service to mankind.
The 2-point here's the replay. You'll see that Robbie Bosco, it's just a I guess this is the touchdown play to Locke. It's just a rollout, and Locke's just beat his man outside. They come with an all-out blitz. No one covers him, and you just can't leave him out there alone because he's too big and too strong to bring down with just one guy in the next 5 yards, and that's all he's got to get in there for the touchdown.
You know, BYU lost a touchdown over in Laramie a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Same kind of call in the end zone. Do you remember that, Steve?
That's true. There's the 2-point conversion. What happened is Cause is coming down to try to wall off whoever's covering Mark Bellini, and this time he gets caught at trying to block him, and it's actually offensive pass interference because you'll see no one covers Mark because he gets knocked off the pattern. The same thing happened last time where BYU was in Wyoming, like you're saying, Jay, but this time it wasn't the 2-point conversion, but a normal down, and if that happens on a normal down, you lose possession of the ball, and Wyoming gets the ball at their own 20.
Yeah, Kasha touchdown.
So luckily they did it on a 2-point conversion, where all it is just nullifies the conversion, and they get penalized on the kickoff, because we were down at the 1-yard line, and Jim McMahon does the same thing, and they get called for it, and they not only did they incomplete pass or a penalty, they lose the football
out to the 20-yard line.
Out to the 20-yard line in Wyoming. It cost us 7 points.
27-26. Brigham Young back in front with 8:39 left to go. Well, the BYU offense reestablished itself on the field on that drive. Now we'll see if the defense can do so, because the Cowboys moved the ball very nicely to score right at the start of this quarter to take the lead. It's 27-26 BYU. Johnson kicking off and kicks it for it taken to the 2-yard line. Back to the 5, to the 10, to the 15. Getting outside, he's up to the 30, up to the 40-yard line. And boy, that Cowboys special unit team has played well.
Really doing well. There wasn't a lot of opening there, but they got the thing right up the middle, a little wedge going, kind of broke up the middle, and then who was that running back, Jay?
Steve Heyman made the tackle, and I didn't get the ball carrier. 25, that is Kevin Lowe.
Kevin Lowe makes a nice move back outside here, and Steve Heyman saves it.
1st and 10, Wyoming on their own 39-yard line.
Nice play by Steve Heyman to save the touchdown.
Runyon at quarterback. Sends a man in motion, gives to his fullback. He's met at the line of scrimmage, gains 3.
And they'll take that. That 3-yard game with the fullback, they want to establish that like we've been talking about all game, and that's their play. And 3 yards, they'll take that right now.
Kurt Gavea,
the outside option.
Kurt Gavea made the tackle on Dave Evans. So it is 2nd and 7.
Is this the most points that a team has scored against the Cougars all year so far, Jay? I think it is 26, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. 2nd down call. Runyon still with the ball, now pitches it back. BYU comes up with a big defensive play this time. Runyon was hit as he pitched it back. And then the fullback, or the running back, Abraham, as he got it, was swarmed all over. Kurt Gavea leading the way.
Kurt Gavea, just the same kind of athlete Leon White is. There's Jim Herman forcing the bad pitch. And there's Kurt Gavea. That's exactly the way they defense it. Jim Herman has the quarterback. Kurt Gavea has the pitch. And if it all works well, that's exactly what should happen every time.
So they lose yardage back to the 35, where it'll be 3rd down. Now, wait a minute. The officials are talking to the BYU
There's a flag down.
Cougars may well take the down this time. Jim Herman, the team captain, talking to the referee. Holding is the call. It'll be declined by BYU to make it 3rd down and 14.
Look for Novacek. He made 2 great plays before, and it's 3rd and 14. Look for him fast guy, number 83 out there.
That's Griffin. Running the wishbone, 3rd and 14. Runyon with the ball, fakes the handoff, back to throw. He's wide open on the sidelines, has a man there for the big 1st down throw.
That's Novacek again, wide open on the throwback. Same thing that happened last time. And they're just getting fooled into that option. And Runyon drops back, and Novacek is downfield. Easy completion.
Mark Allen finally gets to him, but Novacek comes up with the reception.
You bet the whole flow of the play is to the right side, and Novacek goes back all alone at the sidelines, and he's a great athlete. I don't think he's going to miss too many of those.
First down for the Cowboys on the BYU 43-yard line. It's the running play to the fullback. They stand him up as he gets down to the 41-yard line. Dave Evans.
There's 3.5 yards again. That's what they want out of that fullback. Now the second down play can't lose 10 like last time.
Brad Smith made the stop for BYU. We're halfway through the third quarter. 7:13 to go. And it's 27-26 BYU leading, but the Cowboys on the move.
Look for one of those counter plays, Jay, or something that's worked earlier that they've been very successful at.
2nd and 7 on the 40. Runyon with the ball, does give it up the middle. He breaks a tackle, breaks another one, and is all the way to the 33-yard line. Nice run that time by Wyoming's Toriano Taylor, who's only a freshman.
I'll tell you, Taylor made a great move, spinning off. You don't see that out of a fullback too often, out of the wishbone. Here they give it to him. He spins off the big pile up here. Brad Smith has a hand on him. Leon White's right there. He spins off that group. Here comes Steve Heyman. He'll spin off this next guy. And then they have to all kind of gang tackle him down for a first down. That's a big play.
First down, Wyoming on the Brigham Young 32-yard line. Runyon still with the football. Turns inside and is tripped up. Kurt Gavea for BYU tripped him up. And Kerry Whittingham there also.
That time Gavea's got the quarterback, and this time he wanted to play with him, see if he could intercept the pitch or something. Almost got beat inside by the quarterback, Runyon cutting up inside of him. He's got to be careful of that.
2nd and 7 for the Cowboys. On the 28, there's the Cowboy bench. They are excited.
They've got to be excited.
BYU leads them by only 1 point. Runyon,
there's that
counter play all the way to the 20-yard line, inside the 20-yard line. Good hard run by Kevin Lowe, who's a senior. Kyle Morrell tackled him.
There's that counter play they've been really successful at. There's a trap. They come across, the right guard comes across. You'll see the replay. The right guard will come across and trap Jim Herman, 92. It pushes him outside. The hole's back inside. They wall off Kerry Whittingham. It's just down Mark Allen and Kyle Morrell have got to make the stop. Jay, do we have any kind of statistics on their field goal kicker? Is he pretty good kicker or not?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Well, he's 1 of 3 this year.
1 of 3.
1 of 3. 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. Runyon with the football, looking to throws for the end zone. It's caught short of the end zone, down on the 3-yard line.
That's another great play. They come off that counter play they just ran. They run the same play, but the quarterback keeps it outside.
Alan Griffin caught it.
Kyle Morrell's down. Is he hurt? Oh, he's back up. He's tough.
Well, the Cowboys have a 1st and goal then on the 3-yard line. And they have really been moving the ball on BYU. On a defense, it's one of the best in the country.
This still is not an easy scoring position for it, because the Cougars have stopped Wyoming once before in the same spot. We'll see what they can do.
Griffin with the ball, running the option. Oh, is he hit this time?
I'll tell you, Jay, I don't think the option is down. There's a play down here inside the 3, because the Cougars just, they find out which way he's going. They've got to run a counter play or something. They don't want to get down to a fourth down position. They've got to score here in the next 2 downs.
Kyle Morrell and Kerry Whittingham hit him.
Here you'll see the replay, and they're just bunched up, and he has nowhere to go. Whittingham, Kyle Morrell right there coming up from the free safety. See, Kyle doesn't have to play against the pass here. He's not got nothing behind him. He can just fly up and make the play. That's the option, I don't think, is the play here.
2nd and goal on the 4-yard line. That's the counter play, and he's going to be close to the end zone. Didn't quite make it.
Here comes a 3rd and inches again.
Jeff Westfall.
Oh my gosh. That's that same counter play we were kicking Jim Herman out on the trap. And you'll see the ground level play right here. Here comes a trap. There goes their guard kicking out Jim, kicking out Kurt Gouvet up the middle, and it looks like Brad Smith makes a saving tackle.
Marv Allen.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's close. Look at it rested on the goal line. They got 2 plays here. I think if they're not sure about what they're doing, call a timeout and think about it. Looks like they are sure about it. Let's get in, because they can't afford to not get in this time.
3rd and goal on the 6-inch line. It's a pitch back to Westfall, and he made it. Just barely, but he did.
Oh, boy.
So the Cowboys have the lead for the second time in the third quarter. Wyoming 32, Brigham Young 27, and we got a tennis match going.
And there's no fake plays going on here. They're just grounding out, playing great football and great drives. Here's the replay. It's just a pitch out. It's a power sweep, which I think is a great call down here. And he just topples over into the end zone. Looks like Steve Heyman wanted to keep him out again.
The Cowboys leading by 5. They again will try for a 2-point conversion. They failed the last time, same as BYU did.
Someone's got to make one of these conversions here.
He's going to throw for it, does, and it is knocked away by Kyle Morrell. So it does not work. And with 3:59 to play in the third quarter, it's Wyoming 32, Brigham Young 27.
And Jay, I'll guarantee you that they look back at the end of this game. If they lose it, they'll point at those 2 2-point conversions, because that's 4 points they've missed already.
Mark Allen put a lot of pressure on that play, too, for BYU. Well, it's going to be up to the Cougar offense again. The Cowboys were able to come through. They just moved. Let's see. Here are some statistics. Wyoming 115 yards passing, 144 rushing for 259 total, but they have 32 points. BYU has 320 passing, 95 rushing for 415 total. 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 9 plays to go, 61 yards for the Cowboys. And that kickoff return set it up for them.
It sure did. It got them out in a good field position. You know, Jay, you see the 320 yards for passing, but only 95 rushing. To me, BYU's got to establish that rushing game again, because they're going to get in a situation maybe here in the fourth quarter where that passing game's just not going too well. They have to rely on the running game, and if it's not well established, they don't feel good about it. It could cost them a ball game. Now we'll have to watch if they keep being successful throwing the ball, but I really believe they've got to go 12-0 like their goal is. They've got to get that running game going.
Well, the BYU team down by 5 points now, just under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. As the Wyoming Cowboys have bounced back, they were down 14-0. Down by a point at halftime. They've led twice here in the second half. The kickoff this time comes to Parker, 2 yards deep. Going to run it out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, up to the 34-yard line. Robert Parker. So BYU will start in pretty good field position.
Well, I tell you, they're kicking it down to the left corner of the end zone, and the whole Wyoming team is just flooding over to that side, and all he's got to do is beat about a couple of guys, and they've beat that big rush of Wyoming guys. They've got to keep their lanes and cover the whole field. You'll see there's probably 8 guys down inside that on the left side of your screen, and no one out to the right side.
Alan Griffin, their speedster, wide receiver, caught up with him and tackled him. BYU 1st and 10 for the Cougars on their own 34-yard line. Robbie Bosco back to pass on first down. Here's the pass, complete to Mills. So Mills is back in the game, down at the 38-yard line.
We got a penalty. That's in a position where there's either offensive pass interference, defensive pass interference, a lot of things that could be called right there.
Mike Hill made the stop. Kozlowski's over listening in on the conversation as the BYU team captain.
I think it's holding against the defense. Defensive holding.
Looks like it is against Wyoming. That's the initial read. Yeah, it's defensive holding. You know, you saw some BYU players pointing over that direction from the bench.
Yeah.
I think they saw a player held.
Sometimes that can help when your whole bench is screaming at the referee. Maybe sometimes he listens a little bit more than other times.
So here's the 10-yard walk-off, and that's a first down. Cougars will have the ball at the 44-yard line with 3:36 to play in the third quarter, and Wyoming leads 32-27.
Holding on the defense. First down.
Kozlowski wide to the right for BYU. Or wide to the left. Bosco will pass on first down. Drills it upfield to Mills at the 43-yard line, and that was a well-thrown pass.
That's one of the ones he's been throwing into the ground the first half, and he threw it like a bullet right to David Mills. That same play where he just goes down 10 yards, turns around inside the linebackers. We've talked about it the last 5 games. They run it so many times, it's unbelievable.
Tim Gozar tackled him.
Yeah, and it's just an easy 10 yards if they can just keep it going.
Steve, here are 2 very good defenses, and they're giving up a lot of points.
I tell you, it's unbelievable. 2 tight end offense for the Cougars this time. You see David Mills and Trevor Malini in the game. and they can run a lot of different things off this formation. It's almost like Carleton State's one-back offense, exactly like it, in fact.
First and 10 on the 43-yard line. There's the pitch to Heimuli. Heimuli turning the corner. He cuts inside. He's all the way to the 30-yard line. Nice run by Lakay Heimuli. A sweep to the right side.
That time both
again made the stop.
Both the tight ends went to the right side. And they're both out there on a sweep. It gives them an extra guy to block, and I think that's what broke it for the sweep. Lakay's got to be careful with that football.
Louis Wong threw a good block for BYU as he came around the corner. First and 10 Cougars on the Wyoming 31. Wyoming has 10 penalties for 96, BYU 6 for 63. First and 10 on the 31. Robbie to throw. Throws it under pressure. Has a man there. Mills catches a touchdown.
You got a penalty flag, Jay, and I'm not sure what it is. It might be defensive holding, and I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm sure the touchdown will count. We'll have to see what exactly
Well, BYU says it's a touchdown. The penalty is in the Cowboy backfield, but Mills was all alone down there. Again is holding on Wyoming, and Brigham Young has regained the lead. It's 33-32 Cougars.
This reminds me a lot of the Air Force game a couple years ago when Air Force won at 38-37. The whole second half was just touchdown after touchdown, one after another. Here's David Mills coming. He'll come from the tight end spot and break out on a corner route, they call it. Robbie lets it fly, and no one even covers him. And that makes touchdowns awful easy.
Steve, whatever happened to him on that injury, probably feels a lot better right now.
Sure he does. They're going to go for two again. It'll be interesting what the call will be. This will be another big play because it's still, if they don't get this, field goal could still win the ball game.
BYU ahead by a point now. Bosco rolling to the right, looking. Chase throws it into the end zone, but he threw it too far. It's caught by a cheerleader. So the Cougars do not make it. And the score will stay the same as neither team can get one of those two-pointers.
I tell you, field goal can win it now, and there's still a whole quarter to go, a quarter and a couple of minutes, but both the offenses are just going down the field at will.
Took BYU a minute 19, 5 plays, 65 yards.
Here you'll see the touchdown from the end zone. Here you see David Mills. Where's he coming from? He's coming from outside. He'll break out. He's out of your screen. You don't see it. But the holding was, looks like it was on the guy covering Mills, and David just beat him.
So Dave Mills scoring. The point the flag was dropped, Steve, was upfield where a Cowboy back pushed him, but it didn't look like
maybe
holding.
That was what it was.
Bosco has passed for 364 yards now. And Brigham Young leads 33-32 with 2:31 left to play in the third quarter.
And here's a chance for Lee Johnson. What he'll do, I think, is what they've done in the past is he'll just pick out a guy right in front of him, one of those 5 Wyoming guys right in front of the lineman, and he'll just try to kick it right at him. And if it hits him and bounces back, then it's a live ball.
Was there a penalty on the play?
Yes, well, they'll count that the holding penalty.
The holding penalty on the touchdown.
On the kickoff. And what they'll do now, he'll just pick out a guy and try to hit him as hard as he can right at the guy, and maybe it'll bounce off him. And then BYU can recover, and if it doesn't, they'll just go downfield and they can try to return it.
You know, this game could well be decided. Here's the kick. It is kind of a line drive kick, but it goes out of bounds.
I don't think he hit that one the way he wanted to.
You know, Steve, thinking about this game could be one of those games where there's going to be a break someplace in the last 15 minutes.
Right, and that's what happened.
Fumble, an interception, or something like that.
Some kind of a turnover changes the whole complexion of the game.
Well, he kicked it out of bounds, so that's illegal procedure on BYU.
You know, Jay, another thing is
back 5.
If a bad field position could change the complexion of the game. Both teams are enjoying great field position at the start of their drives. As soon as someone gets stuck down inside their 5-yard line, that could change the whole complexion of the game also. So field position is very important.
Brigham Young 33, Wyoming 32 is the score with 2:31 left to go. Got a little bit of time on the field right now. The Cowboys may elect to take the ball where it went out of bounds, which is not too bad field position.
No, I think that's a great play because Lee still kicks off from the 45-yard line.
Give them a first down on their own 27-yard line. Our thanks to the BYU Cougar Club for the support we receive from them, providing funding for our KBYU telecast. You, the members of the Cougar Club, are what make these telecasts possible, with the major portion of funding coming from you. Thank you. First down play. Runyon with the ball to the fullback, to the 30-yard line. That's been the opening play on every series, I think.
They're gaining yards at it, about 4 yards a crack, and it's opening up a lot of other things that they're doing, and that's the thing that their offense is based on, is establishing that fullback up the middle.
Jim Herman tackling Dave Evans, the big senior fullback. Been kind of a hard luck player for the Cowboys. He was out most of last year with an injury. Time running out in the third quarter. 2:07 left to go. It is 2nd down and 7 for the Cowboys on their own 30. Runyon with the ball, rides it up the middle. A flag goes down. Evans, the fullback.
Fullback was too fast. He left a little early. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against Wyoming. They can't afford that now.
Jim Herman making the stop for BYU. The only thing it is, Steve, put them back and it forces them to throw to Novacek.
Yeah, which isn't a bad play in itself.
They're talking to Jim Herman. Could be a choice of 3rd and about 6 or 7, or 2nd and 12. Cougars will take the penalty, apparently. They will. 5-yard walk-off.
And short penalties, those are these motion penalties. I'm sorry, interrupting the referee there.
Second down.
Those motion
12 and a half.
Those motion penalties have really hurt the Cowboys so far today.
Runyon, the quarterback, still has the football. Now there's the pitch back. It's fumbled. Free ball. It goes out of bounds. He made a bad choice, I think, on the pitch that time.
I think so, too.
Could have been another yard on the sideline. They might have turned it over. See, Gavea plays it very well.
He really does. He gets both, plays the quarterback and the pitchman, which is supposed to be impossible with the triple option, but he did a great athletic move there.
3rd and about 14 for the Cowboys. With 1:37 to play in the third quarter, they have the ball on their own 24. Runyon sprinting to the right, looking to throw, does throw, completes it.
That should be a first down.
I think it'll be just enough. Completed it to Griffin, Alan Griffin, and again they come up with the big yardage on a 3rd down.
A great play and a great catch. Great throw by Runyon. And the super catch by Griffin outside. They're going to stretch the change right here and see what they've got.
They made it.
Yep.
Just the nose of the football past that bar.
That was marked really well because he did have the first down yardage.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys on their own 37. Big play for them. Anything bad happens on that one, and they have to give up the football. 1:32 to go. In the third period, the Cougars ahead by 1, 33-32. Runyon does give to the fullback. He doesn't make much this time of anything. Dave Evans, that's the same play they've used first down almost every play. Brad Smith and is it Steve Heyman? Leon White. Leon White there for the Cougars.
I tell you, Leon, I think he's got an S under his shirt today. He's playing everywhere.
2nd and 9 for Wyoming at the 39. Brigham Young 33, Wyoming 32. Runyon with the ball, the counter play to Lowe. Lowe with some great moves, gets into the secondary. He might go all the way. He's down to the 30, down to the 20. And did they knock him out of bounds? I don't know. No, they did not.
Score.
Can you
believe
that?
Is an unbelievable run. He must have beat 15 guys. That's unbelievable.
The Cowboys
That's a great run. Here's the replay, Jay. It's just that counter play. They knock Jim Herman out again. The guard comes across. They seal it off. He makes a nice move on Mark Allen. A nice move there on Kyle Morrell. Spins away. Looks like he's going to get pursuit behind him. Catch up to him. Larry Hamilton gives a shot at him. And Gouvet is the only guy left. And he just outruns. Looks like Kirk's got the corner on him, and he just gets by him.
Well, Kevin Lowe.
That is a great play.
Kevin Lowe puts the Cowboys ahead 38-33.
Here's that 2-play conversion that no one's been able to get yet. Let's see what they come up with.
They're going to try it again. Runyon will throw for it this time. Throws for the corner.
Oh my
throws it
gosh.
out of the end zone.
I tell you, I think, Novacek's the man to go to, but you got to give him a chance.
Wow. The Cowboys from Wyoming just keep bouncing back. BYU had them third and long yardage. They came up with just the amount of yardage for a first down, and then Lowe breaks another long run. They've had a couple of long touchdown passes, a long punt return, and now a long run from scrimmage.
And now they've left 6 points. There's the Wyoming fans going crazy. They've left 6 points at the 2-point conversion. 3 times now they've left it short, and they could have essentially been up 2 touchdowns on BYU if they could have hit those 2-point conversions.
We've just been kind of waiting to see if either defense can stop the other, and in the second half there has not been a punt.
Boy, that counter play when that guard comes around and traps Jim Herman and then they seal off Kuvea has been just a magic for him today.
42 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Wyoming 38, Brigham Young 33. If Wyoming wins this game, they would become 3-1 in league play. BYU would go to 2-1. And then either Utah or San Diego State would be 3-1 as a result of their action tonight. And New Mexico probably will win. They would be 2-1. It would really make this whack a horse race.
Oh boy, they still got a full quarter, and BYU's got a lot of offensive power.
A minute 58 to go, 73 yards and 7 plays.
How long was that run? Does anyone know? It's about a 65
What was the length of the run? 61? 61 yards.
Great effort by Lowe.
Cottingham will kick off for Wyoming. 38-33. Wyoming leading. Here's the kick. High and 2 yards into the end zone. Sikahema is going to run it out. 5, 10, out to the 15, out to the 20, to the 26-yard line.
Oh boy. I thought he's trapped down inside the 10, and only Sikahema can do that.
Mike Hill got a hand on his ankle, it looked like, as he went by, or he might have broken that one.
Yeah, I tell you, it really looks like he's very well covered there, but he just makes the breaks. You see the hands, the legs, hips, feet, everything kind of moving in different directions. Look at that.
See, just a hand. Well, there's a player between he and the goal line. So, 1st and 10, Brigham Young on their own 25-yard line.
Each team has really enjoyed great field positions this third quarter, Jay.
Bosco gives him the draw to Kelly Smith. Kelly into the secondary. He's up to the 37-yard line. Boy, that opened up.
Big draw play. That's big for him here in the third quarter.
Oliver Davis, the tackler. BYU down by 5, but with the football, and they have a first down at the 37-yard line. There you see it on the replay. Kelly Smith. He cuts back to his left after he gets inside.
He's a very quick player. This is the last play of the third quarter.
Bosco at quarterback.
Here comes the reverse. He's going to throw it.
Here's Kozlowski's pass, and it is incomplete. Threw it out of bounds. Wyoming wants to say that intentionally grounding. There is a flag also down in the secondary.
I don't know if we got holding. Could be anything right now. Jay, things are flying. Cougs did a smart thing and threw the ball away because Mills at first Cougs had him open, but he didn't have a chance to throw it, and then they recovered and covered David Mills, and Cougs had nowhere to go. A really smart play by Cougs.
The official call is ineligible receiver downfield. And the clock still 0-0. Yeah,
that's a loss of down.
Time has run out on the third quarter.
I'll tell you, there's so many things happening, Jay, I can't keep track.
But I think you can't end the quarter on a penalty, so we may run one more play. 38-33 is the score. Wyoming now maybe they will enter right there. So after 3 quarters of play, it's Wyoming 38 and Brigham Young has 33. And we'll be back in just a moment with the fourth quarter of an exciting football game. We'd like to enter. We've got a thriller. The Cowboys from Wyoming down 14-0 in the first quarter have come roaring back. They lead BYU. Whichever team has the ball seems to take the lead here in the second half.
Unbelievable. They scored 5 touchdowns in the third quarter. Each team was not even come close to being stopped. They just went back and forth down the field. And I guess BYU had the ball first and got stopped the first drive of the second half.
That's the only time.
And then from then on, it was just back and forth, 5 touchdowns in a row. And still going. Let's see if BYU can keep up that pace and go down and score themselves. It's 2nd and 15.
And they're on their own 32-yard line. So BYU down by 5, trying to get downfield and in the end zone again. Bosco at quarterback on 2nd and 15. Back to pass. Over to Heimuli. Heimuli has one blocker out in front of him, but they get him. He did get over the 40-yard line. Trevor Matic threw a good block, and Heimuli got over the 40.
Trevor was out there all alone on the screen. Usually BYU runs 3-man screens. That means 3 linemen go over there with Lacquet. But I think they had a blitz on, and that only leaves Trevor Matic alone to go with the screen. I think a pretty good play because they had the blitz on. They aren't getting a lot of time to throw the football. Easy completion and puts Lacquet out there one-on-one, and you like those kind of situations.
BYU has 483 total yards in the game right now. Wyoming 338, but the Cowboys have the lead.
Here's a big play, Jay. 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 for BYU from the 41.
Big play.
Bosco back to throw. 3-man rush.
Screen.
Here's the pass. Flags go down all over the place.
I said right in the area where there's defensive holding again. I don't know if they... you think they would be able to avoid that? I think it is.
All of the officials out there threw flags. BYU's players are applauding. They think it's on the Cowboys.
And that's a first down, I tell you. They had good pressure on Robbie. They had good coverage, but they're just getting caught with things that they can't afford to have.
It's defensive holding again. Greg Engel, is he the one who called? Okay. 14:09 left in this football game. Wyoming 38, Brigham Young 33. With the help of the penalty, BYU will have possession in Wyoming territory.
That play, Jay, is an option screen. What they do is they set up the screen. Robbie has the option of either... Here we got the referee's call.
Holding by the defense, automatic first down.
Lacquet will go out to the side. They'll set up the screen with the line, but Robbie has a choice whether to go out to Lacquet for the screen or go downfield to David Mills. He went to downfield to David Mills. It looks like David got held and they caught him, but that was a big 3rd down play.
1st and 10, Brigham Young on the Wyoming 49-yard line. The Cougars 49 yards away from regaining the lead. Bosco gives them the draw to Kelly Smith. Kelly skirting outside, works his way to the 43-yard line. Good effort by Kelly.
Great run. Didn't look like he had much room to go, and he just broke it outside. With his speed, can get 5 yards.
Brigham Young trying to regain the lead as we enter the 4th quarter. Tim Gosar was the tackler of Kelly. 2nd down and 4, a 6-yard gain. Richard Orr comes in with the play for BYU.
Against the Cowboys.
Cougars playing without Adam Haysbert today. Injured, has a knee and an ankle injury. Here's a 2nd down play for the Cougars. Bosco back to throw. Over to Smith on the sidelines to the 40. And down right there.
Well, I tell you, it looked like Kelly had a lot of room, but those Wyoming Cowboys are flying around on defense, making the big plays. And they're not, even though a guy might be open for a second, he's not open for long. It looked like he wanted to go downfield to Richard Orr on a corner route down around the 20-yard line and readjusted his feet and threw it out to Kelly.
And Dane Ingram tackled him, a very good, strong safety. 3rd down for BYU and 2 on the Cowboy 41-yard line.
Another big 3rd down play, because I don't think in this territory, in this situation, Coach Edwards would go for the 4th down play. So they've got to get it here or they're going to have to punt.
Bosco back to throw. They're coming at him. The rush is on. He throws it left-handed, and it's caught by Heimuli, but Heimuli does not get back to the line of scrimmage. You know, Robbie threw it left-handed.
I think he just kind of unloaded it, not knowing where it was going to go, and Lacquet just happened to be there. Now here's the Coach Edwards. You know that he's not going to go for it. He's not that kind of a guy.
Alan Griffin covering. Or check that. Ted Story, the defensive end, was the one that put the pressure on, so BYU will punt, and so the Cowboys have finally broken serve.
There's a replay, and you'll see, I think Robbie just wanted to unload it and just get an incomplete pass, and just Lacquet happened to be a lineman there, blocking for him, turned around and caught the ball.
12:03 to play in this game, and Wyoming leads 38-33, and Lee Johnson will kick from his 41-yard line. Jay Shumway, the deep snapper. Here's the kick. Kicks it pretty high. Fair catch, the signal at the 11-yard line. Handled there, okay.
I think that's a very good play by that deep back. You notice Lacquet Heimuli limping off the field. He's limping on the sidelines. We'll have to see how he progresses.
Well, now it's up to the BYU defense.
There's a big break in the 2nd half. That's the first time someone's had to punt other than the first drive that BYU had in the first half and the start of the 2nd half. So maybe Wyoming's got to take advantage of it and get the extra touchdown.
Wyoming ahead, 38-33, 11:46 to play in the football game. Runyon at quarterback. still has the ball, passes, completes it.
Novacek over the middle. I think that's a great play. They've kind of left him alone for a while, and he's such a great athlete. Get the ball to him as much as possible.
Jeff Sprouse tackles him. Cowboys playing good ball
control. Just the option, fakes the option, and just stands up and hits him right up there. And that's tough to defense, right through Larry Hamilton's hands. See, now that puts him out of, that's the worst field position Wyoming started on. Now it puts him in 2nd and 1. That's right where they want to be.
2nd and 1 on the 20-yard line. They're playing perfect football offensively in the second half. There's a running play for the first down with Gerald Abraham, a freshman, shooting through and getting the first down yardage.
You know, Jay, I'm really impressed with this Runyon, the quarterback. A freshman walks in after Gosnell gets hurt last week, comes in and plays the #5 team in the nation. I don't care what happens from here on out. He's been impressive throwing the ball. He's run the option well. He's led the team well. And, you know, I'm really impressed with the guy.
Marv Allen, the tackler on Abraham on the last play. So the Cowboys have a first down on the BYU 23, on their own 23-yard line. Off to the left side, and they open a tremendous hole and carried out to the 36-yard line.
It looks like the Wyoming offensive line is just beating the defensive line off the ball, opening holes for their fullback. And that's number 34. What's his name, Jay?
That's Toriano Taylor, the freshman.
That's right, another freshman. He's the one that made those spinning moves a couple of drives ago that set up a touchdown. And they're really breaking the holes up the middle, and that's what they love. They like to see that fullback established because their offense is keyed on that.
Marv Allen and Dave Neff were the tacklers. 1st and 10 Wyoming on their own 36. Here's the fullback, a big hole off the left side, out to the 47-yard line, and they're chewing him up. Kyle Morrell tackling Dave Evans.
That might have been a touchdown-saving tackle by Kyle Morrell, really sure-handed. I'd like, if there's going to be a touchdown-saving tackle, I want Kyle Morrell involved, but it's not a good situation to put a one-on-one for a touchdown.
38-33, Wyoming, with 10:28 to play, and they have the ball with a first down at the 47-yard line.
And they've got the BYU defense reeling. They don't know what's coming next. Watch that counter play, watch for a pass. Who knows what's next?
There's the pitch back after they take it up the middle, and not too much gain this time.
You know, I think Runyon made a bad mistake there. I felt like the fullback should have gotten the ball again. Look at this big hole, yeah. And they ended up pitching out, and I don't think that's the play right now for the Cougars. You'll see as he hands the ball off to the fullback to fake it, it looks like he's got a little bit of a hole there, but he ends up pitching it out, and they get a gain about 3.
Kevin Lowe was tackled by Steve Heyman.
This is a key play for Wyoming, 2nd and 8. They've got to get at least 3 or 4 yards here.
Runyon, the quarterback, gives to his fullback, and he's to the BYU 45-yard line. A pretty good gain again.
They'll just get beating BYU's defense off the ball every play. They're, you know, it's just they're getting up the line of scrimmage, beating them off the ball, and opening a hole for 6 or 7 yards.
Allen and White have to close it off, and now time becoming a factor too. 9.5 in this football game. Wyoming ahead 38-33. They have the ball 3rd and 2.
Big play. The crowd's going to go wild. I think Runyon cannot afford to turn around until ask the referee for time. He's got to run the play.
Wishbone. Here's the snap. The inside play. I don't think he made it. Now the Cowboys will have to determine what they want to do.
It'll be about 4th and about a half a yard. And the way Coach Kincaid's called this game, I have a feeling he might go for it.
Kevin Lowe, the ball carrier. And the good hit by Dave Neff of BYU.
They tried that counter trap play where the off guard comes over and tries to trap Larry Hamilton, and Larry just kind of beat the block. And it looks like it's going to be about 4th and maybe a full yard. I don't know. What do you think, Jay? What's your professional
opinion? They're talking to the punting unit on the sideline, and here they come. They're not going to gamble.
They got the lead. I think it's a smart play.
They're ahead by 5, and they decide to punt.
Well, they have a great punter, too, who's leading the nation. I think the big play here is to keep it away from 5 so he can't set up a return. Make sure you kick it away from him.
Here's the kick.
They do. Let's see how he goes.
Tried to kick it out of bounds, but he didn't. Kicked it out of the end zone. Brigham Young down 38-33.
Okay, now they've both traded punts. Let's see what happens with BYU. Let's see if they can get something offensive going. Look for a big play. Glenn Kozlowski's usually in the spot for the big plays. Watch for him.
8:43 left in this football game. And it's up to the BYU offense to avoid an upset. That's Smith to the outside. Out to the 33-yard line, 33-yard line. Boy, he just shot through there.
That draw play has been very, very effective for him throughout the game, and that's what they need. They've got Wyoming on the first down play kind of feeling like they lost the momentum, and now they've got to come back and stop them, and BYU's got the momentum in their favor.
Oliver Davis tackled him.
And you see there's the draw play right in the middle. They've walled everything off inside. And now it's just a defensive secondary that's got to make the tackle.
Mooley and Smith are the running backs for BYU. First and 10 at the 33.
There's another draw.
To Mooley. Mooley can't get away. He tried the same thing, only to a different runner. Kelly Smith has rushed for 89 yards in this game.
That's a great day for Kelly.
Bruce Mowry wouldn't let Mooley get free that time. Got him by the jersey.
They came with a blitz that time, and they just came over the top. And there was enough guys in the draw play to just close it down.
2nd and 11 for Brigham Young. Bosco to pass. Can't find anybody. Being chased. Flips it out to Smith. He catches it. 40, 45, up to the 50-yard line. Good play. Wow.
Great play by Robbie. Great decision. Just dumps it over, looking for a receiver. You'll see the replay. Looks like he wants to go deep down the field to Bellini. Looks like he's going to set up right here. He's watching him. He's going to go, and then he decides not to. Now he's going to try to run it, walking around, trying to find somebody. He sees Kelly, just dumps it over the top. That's a great play.
Good scrambling motion, and Kelly makes a nice run out of it after he catches the ball.
And, you know, something the Wyoming Cowboys can do about that. They're playing great defense. That's just a nice play by the quarterback and the tailback.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Here comes the blitz.
Bosco to pass, chased out of the pocket, gets the pass off, caught by Orr. He's all the way to the 33-yard line. So the Cougars are on the move. 7:15 left to play in this game. Dane Ingram tackled Orr. That was a nice throw by Robbie.
Yeah, going against the grain, you see. He's running against his body, and he's got to let it fly in a really nice pass. Richard Orr makes a sure-handed catch.
Bosco's now passed for 403 yards unofficially.
That's a great day.
BYU first and 10 on the Wyoming 32-yard line.
There's the draw again.
It's Mooley coming to the outside. He's inside the 30. 6:55 left in this football game. Rock Merritt was the tackler for the Cowboys. Boy, the defenses have been tested today in this game.
Boy. Up and down the field, everything they've got in the playbook's being thrown out right now.
5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 for the Cougars on the Cowboy 27-yard line. Now the officials stop action for a moment.
One of the Wyoming defensive players accidentally kicked the ball as it was being set up, and they've got to remark it now.
38-33 Wyoming. 6:27 left in the football game. Brigham Young 27 yards away from regaining the lead. Of course, remember, the Cougars get the lead. The Cowboys would be a field goal away from at least a tie if BYU gets a 2-point conversion. Bosco to pass. Does pass, incomplete.
Looks like he just threw it away, got confused as to where everyone was going. There was a little pick play between David Mills and Lake Mooley. And I think what the read is, if it's zone, then Lake hooks up. And if it's man, Lake goes downfield. I think Lake might have done the opposite thing of what Robbie thought he was going to do. And Robbie had committed his throwing motion already and threw it away.
3rd and 5 for BYU then.
Big
3rd and 4.
This is a big play. Lee Johnson's well within field goal range, but they need a touchdown to retake the lead. Wyoming could conceivably get the ball back if they still got the lead and easily ground out 5 minutes on the clock. Not easily, but they could do it.
Big 3rd down play. Bosco looks at the defensive alignment and calls timeout. So there's timeout on the field. 6 minutes, 21 seconds left to play. Wyoming 38, Brigham Young 33. We'll be back right after this.
Of the BYU football team, the starting time.
At the foot of Utah's Wasatch Mountains lies Brigham Young University, the nation's largest private university. Sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, BYU is committed to academic excellence and ongoing research, such as Dr. Roland Robbins' discoveries in the BYU Cancer Research Center. BYU's athletic prowess is evident, and its emphasis on social, moral, and spiritual growth mixed with academics makes the BYU experience unique. Through a dedication to excellence, BYU students are taught to lead lives in pursuit of integrity, truth, and service to mankind.
for BYU football from Provo, Jay Monsen and Steve Young. The Cougars need about 4 yards for a first down. They need 27 yards, 28 yards for a touchdown.
This is the biggest play of the game so far. I'm sure we'll see about 10 more of these in the next 6 minutes. But you know, this is kind of what college football is all about. Big crowd, close
lots
game.
of upsets this year. Lots of upsets or close to it. Here it is. Third down, and about 4 or 5 yards for the first down.
Big play right here.
They're really coming at him. He's back to throw, looking, gets it off, and it is incomplete at the 15-yard line. He overthrew Kozlowski just a little bit.
Koz is the man you want to see in that position, and he usually comes up with a big play. Robbie just overthrew him a bit. Koz couldn't adjust. It was behind him and above him. And you see Robbie sets his feet pretty well. He lets it fly. And it's just a little high and a little bit behind him. And Koz just can't adjust to it. He had 2 shots at it. And coach is going for it, I guess.
Yep, they're going for it. They're going for it right now.
I don't think this is the ball game, but I tell you, they really need to get this first down. This could be Wyoming could possibly run out the time, but this is obviously the biggest play of the game right here.
4th and 4. Bosco back to pass.
He's got time. He's got plenty of time.
Here's the pass. Complete. Complete to Kozlowski. Still on his feet. Now they finally pull him down inside the 20-yard line. Boy, a great effort by 2 good players.
Yep, you want Koz with the football. He's the big play guy. It's just a delay. Koz would break in and then break back outside. Robbie just waits for him to break, and then he just lets him have it. Right on the money.
Excellent protection by the line that time.
Now they're in the position they love to be. Down inside the 20, first down, they can start pulling out all their great plays that they have down here.
1st and 10, Brigham Young. On the Cowboy 18-yard line. BYU trailing by 5 points. Bosco back to throw. Starts to run. Now flips it over to Heimuli. Heimuli to the 15. Down to the 10-yard line.
I'll tell you, Robbie is doing acrobatics back there in the backfield. He knows he's not going to get outside and run for too many yards, so he's just taking all the time he can possibly to try to find a receiver. And here's a great move. He's just playing acrobat back there. He starts to run. He sees Lacquet. He says, "Whoa, wait a second." That's a great play. Just dump it off and let Lacquet gain the yards.
Merrick's tackles him. 2nd. They need about 2, maybe 3 yards for a first down, 10 for a touchdown. It's the draw to Smith. But he got it back. Boy, they knocked it out of Smith's hands, but I think he got it back himself.
He did get it back.
We haven't had many turnovers in this game.
No, not at all.
Have there been any?
They just get a hold of, here's the replay, they get a hold of Kelly just as he gets the ball, takes the ball away from him right there. It's laying on the ground and anybody's ball, and I think Lewis Wong got it again, and Robbie. Now here's another big 3rd down play, 3rd and 7, and don't go for the end zone, just go for the first down right here. I think that's a big thing that they have to do. Don't go for the end zone, go for that first down.
The line of scrimmage is the 14-yard line. Bosco back to throw. Does throw. Touchdown! He hit Mills in the end zone, and Mills made a great catch.
What a catch by David Mills. Robbie had all day to throw. Peter sits there and waits. Finally, David comes across the whole length of the field, and he just makes a great catch. You see Craig Garrett block his guy. He's laying on him. He won't let him get up. Robbie's got all day. And here comes David all the way across the field. Look at this catch.
Boy, that's a tremendous catch under pressure. So Brigham Young regains the lead, 39-38, with 4:16 left to play in the football game.
Angle at it. He's looking left. He doesn't see anybody. He's got all day, all long to sit back there, and then here comes David wide open.
Great protection.
You can't give the quarterback at BYU that much time. He's going to find somebody, and David makes a great catch. Here comes another one of those doomed 2-point plays. We'll see if somebody can finally get one. BYU really needs it here because a field goal could win it for Wyoming if they miss this.
Brigham Young's going to use a timeout right now. They were not really together on what they wanted to do, so they finally call a timeout. 4:16 left to go. It's going to come down to what the defense can do in this game, Steve.
I think so, definitely.
BYU has 583 total yards, 441 passing, 142 rushing. We're going to have to remember that left-handed pass, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you ever throw one right-handed?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can remember in a big game going back when Gifford Nielsen did that.
Oh, really?
He was being forced to go the wrong way. You know, he's going to his left, and they got him, and they were holding him by the right arm, and he threw it and completed it left-handed.
That's a great athletic move.
4 minutes, 27 seconds, 11 plays, and 80 yards. And Steve, of course, another play as we reminisce here. Speaking of left-handed or right-handed, Jim McMahon punted one left-footed.
That's
remember,
right.
over in Hawaii?
Over in Hawaii, big play.
That's, I guess, a Wyoming Cowboy that's being tossed around by the crowd. Boy, the Wyoming Cowboys as a team haven't been tossed around today. They played a great game. Well, the Cougars are going for a 2-point conversion, and if they make it, what that would mean is the Cowboys with a field goal could tie it but not win it. If they don't get the conversion, the Cowboys could win it with a field goal. Bosco rolling to his right, looking. Here's the pass. It's caught for the 2-point conversion. He got the pass in the end zone to Kelly Smith.
That was it. That's what they needed. That's exactly what they needed. Now, a field goal could only tie it. Oh, they've got too many points up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, the scoreboard is not correct,
yeah,
is
it's
it?
41-38. A field goal to tie it.
Now it goes back to 41. I think BYU would have liked it to have been 42. Steve, you started talking about this early in the football game. When the Cowboys missed that extra point, it in itself set up all of these missed extra points in the second half.
Robbie makes a great throw under pressure right up to Kelly Smith. Kelly makes another big play. Kelly's had 2 great games in a row.
Well, the BYU offense did the job once again. They got the Cougars down and got a score and lead now over Wyoming, 41-38. But the Cowboys have 4 minutes and 16 seconds of football left. And they have been explosive today. Right here's a place to watch them. They've been great with their kickoff and punt returns.
We might get some rain here in the next 5 minutes, Jerry. That could really turn this game around, too.
A storm headed this way? Okay. BYU ahead by 3 with 4:16 to play, and Lee Johnson will kick off. Here's the kick. Kicks it along the ground. Rolls down to the 23-yard line. Fumbled a bit, picked up there, and down right away.
Lee Johnson slipped just as he kicked it, and went out from under his feet and just got a piece of it. And luckily got enough of a piece of it to get it down around the 20-yard line.
Well, the Cowboys take over.
And they've got great field position, Jay. That's what they've had all day.
They're on the 27-yard line. They're down by 3 points. A field goal would tie it, a touchdown to win it.
Now the crowd really becomes a factor.
Runyon at quarterback, a man in motion. Rides it up the middle, gives to his fullback, who pulls his way over the 30-yard line. That's Dave Evans.
He got 4 big yards.
A lot of Cougars in on the stop. Down on the bottom was Jim Herman.
There's that fullback play. You can almost predict it. First down, and they got 5 big yards. And that's the kind of situation they want. They just want to get down in field goal range. They got plenty of time.
Second down and about 6. Runyon still with the ball, hit from behind. The ball is knocked free. The Cowboys chase it and get it back on the 18-yard line. Boy, BYU almost came up with a fumble recovery. Runyon didn't see anybody coming up from the back of him.
Here's a replay. You see him hand up, and then looks like Leon White gets a hold of him. No, it's Kurt Gouveia who forces a bad pitch, gets his hand on it. Then Marv Allen trying to tackle the pitch man, hits it himself.
Evans for Wyoming has rushed now for 70 yards and a big defensive play. The Cowboys face third down now and 18 back on their own 19-yard line.
Look for Alvin Griffin or Alan Griffin or Novacek. They got to get the ball out there to him.
Runyon with the ball, dropping back, looking.
He's open.
Here's the throw, and it is incomplete at midfield. And I always look for flags. There are none.
I can't believe they've got to punt it. They can't give up the game right now. There's too much time left. They've got to go ahead and punt it.
Well, they face 4th and 18. If they don't punt it, and don't make it, they really give the ball to BYU down in scoring territory. 2:50 left to play in the game. And Donnelly's back to kick. BYU has only one man back deep. They're protecting against a fake punt. Here's the kick. Sikahema waiting for it, takes it, and runs it out of bounds. He took that on the dead run. Made a nice catch, too. Well, Brigham Young has the football now with a 3-point lead. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left to play in the game.
There's a punt. By's got to make a nice catch. That's got to be a sure-handed thing. And he's got no blocking, so he's just going to head right out of bounds. Pretty smart play.
Going to make sure he doesn't lose the ball in any way. First and 10, Brigham Young on their own 39.
Wyoming's got all 3 of its timeouts. All they got to do is BYU's got to score 1 first down and make Wyoming use all their timeouts, and then they're in great position. If Wyoming can keep BYU from getting a first down, they'll use the timeouts and still have enough time on the clock to maybe go down and put up a field goal.
Cougars want to keep that clock going, of course. Bellini goes in motion to the left side. It's a running play to Heimuli. Heimuli bowls straight ahead over the 40 to the 42-yard line. And we'll see how the Cowboys will play it now, how they will use those timeouts.
Yeah.
BYU certainly in no hurry to run a play. Craig Earl, defensive end, and Galen Thaxton, linebacker, stopping Heimuli.
Look for a play-action pass here, Jay, where they feel like they've got to run the ball, but maybe Robbie will fake it. Maybe that naked that they've run successfully over the past couple of games.
On the 42-yard line, second down. Bosco gives them the draw. Kelly Smith. Kelly's to the 45-yard line and a gain of 3.
I think they ought to use one of their timeouts right here, Jay. Yeah, they will.
That's right. The Cowboys use one of them. Rob Zelenka, who was injured in the first half, back in there, made the tackle. The clock stopped then with 1:52 to play in the football game. Brigham Young 41, Wyoming 38. Steve, this is one of those football games where neither team deserves to lose.
That's true. They really don't. They played great football. There haven't been many mistakes. I don't think there's been a turnover all day. They played great football. They've been solid offensively. Defensively, they've tried to play hard. They come up with big plays when they can. There's a Wyoming bench. I'm sure this is a big third down play. And look for either a naked Robbie running out all on his own, play action pass, or look for Cougs getting downfield, getting open, because he's the man they want to get the ball to.
You know, Wyoming has played BYU in 4 other homecomings here in Provo and won 2 of them.
Well,
and Wyoming is the only team that Lavelle Edwards has lost more than twice to in league play. He's lost to them 3 times. He's won 9 and lost 3. Colorado State, he's 10-2-1. Everybody else, it's 1 win or no wins.
Yeah. Here's the big play right here.
Here it comes. Third down for BYU. Third down and 4.5 or 5 yards for the first down. Bosco back to pass on third down. Good protection. Now chased away. Looking, he's going to run the ball. He dove. Did he get out of bounds?
They're going to give him the first down.
They might
say
him
the first down.
Right. I think they'll say he got the football up there.
I didn't think he got out in time, but they're going to give it to him, I think.
If so, that's a great individual effort by Robbie Bosco.
Here's a replay. He has no one downfield. He's just going to let it run, do it on his own.
He dives and puts the ball out in front of him. Watch for that.
Let's see how close he does come.
Well, he put the ball out there.
Yeah, I guess he did.
They made it. It's a first down. Robbie Bosco comes up with a big one. He's done that twice in this game.
He really has. Great athletic moves.
1 minute, 42 seconds left to play in a football game. The Cowboys still have 2 timeouts left, and Brigham Young has a first down on the Cougar 49-yard line. Wow, what an exciting football game. Next week, BYU, it doesn't get any easier. The Air Force Academy on the road, a team that today defeated Notre Dame.
They'll be laying for them, you know that. They can still do it. 2 timeouts. They've got to get a big play maybe to force them to throw the football, then they get incomplete and stop the clock by throwing it.
Running play to Heimuli. Oh, Heimuli comes up with a good run. He gains about 8 yards down to the Wyoming 43-yard line, where Troy Schroeder tackles him. 41-38. Brigham Young with 1.5 minutes to go. I guess they stopped the clock again. They used another timeout. So they've got 1 left. And now, Steve, BYU's got 2 shots at getting a first down with a run, which could keep the clock going.
Yeah, they've got to keep it on the ground because they throw the ball and get it incomplete. Stops the clock for Wyoming. They can't. BYU can't let Wyoming have that opportunity.
I'm going to say this is one game where we haven't seen many people leave early.
No, they're starting to go right now.
They're starting to go now.
I'll tell you, they just can't wait to get out.
I could never leave at a time like this.
How could you leave? Where are you guys going? Holy smokes. Just a couple.
Not very many, but... You know, I read the other day of a game. It was the Baylor game back when Grant Taft first came there. And remember, they came from behind in the second half to beat Texas?
Yeah.
Which was their big win, really got them going.
That's right.
That a lot of fans had gone home in the third quarter, started to go home. When Baylor started to come back, they were trying to get back in the stadium. And the Texas fans were trying to leave, and nobody could go either way.
Here's a big play again, about the 15th of the quarter.
It's Heimuli, and he may have the first down.
I could finish it off right there.
LaKay Heimuli and Smith are really protecting that football when they carry it right now. It's another first down for Brigham Young. And the Cougars are in position now. They can run out the time, probably.
Here's the replay. LaKay off tackle. And look at that forward plunge by Matic, Nanai. Oh my gosh. That's big.
The clock running with 1:18 to play, and BYU will let it run right down to the, the 25-second limit. On that clock, we have 10 seconds to go. 1:08 left in the football game. Bosco gives to Heimuli. Got both arms and hands wrapped around that ball, and he comes off the left side. Now the Cowboys will call another timeout.
Jay, you know, one thing you got to be careful of, this is the same position that Utah felt they were in a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden the ball pops up in the air and they return it for a touchdown and lose the game. And I think this is the same kind of thing. BYU's got the game under hand. It looks like they're going to go in, win the game, and then all of a sudden something crazy happens. So they've got to avoid that. It happened 2 weeks ago, and that's how Wyoming beat Utah.
1 minute left in this football game, and Steve, we talked about this thing I'm going to bring up when we were in Hawaii. People could say, hey, what happened to the Cougars today? I'd have to come back and say, again, a number 5 ranked team finds a way to win.
That's true. Very true. But, you got to give the Wyoming Cowboys great credit.
Sure
They're coming up to play them. And
they could have quit.
Oh, sure, many times. But they didn't only just come back. They kept coming back over and over again. And that's a sign of a great football team. And even though they come up short, they got a lot to kind of feel good about. And they can still go on and win a lot of games this year.
I was talking to one of their broadcasters before the game, and he said the first half of the game between Wyoming and Nebraska, that Wyoming gave Nebraska everything they wanted. Really played well. Second down and 9 for Brigham Young. Bosco to Heimuli. Heimuli off to the right side is to the 35-yard line. 51 seconds and the clock running. Paul Kitka tackled him. Now the Cowboys back defensively, BYU back offensively, where it is third down and 5 for BYU. 18 seconds left to get a play underway. 33 seconds left in the football game. Cougars up over the ball. They're around to protect Bosco, who just drops down on the ball. The offensive line and everybody protecting him well.
That's it.
That's it. BYU will not even have to line up for another play as the clock is running with 13 seconds to go. And we're going to have to get out in a hurry today because of time.
I think the Cougars better get out of here in a hurry before they try to extend this ball game.
So you have a disappointed group of Wyoming Cowboys leaving the field. And the BYU Cougars have come from behind to beat Wyoming by a score of 41-38. A great effort by 2 good football teams.
It really was. I feel that's what college football is all about. Great football games. Wyoming came up to the test, came into homecoming and played a great game. Could have easily won it. They got to feel good about their performance.
BYU quickly, 609 total yards. Wyoming had 382. Kelly Smith, 92 yards rushing. LaKay Heimuli had 60 yards rushing. Final score again, Brigham Young 41, the University of Wyoming 38. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Jay Monsen, for myself and for Steve Young, good afternoon.